The fourth book of Musa, WeDavar, also called Numbers, and he gave words. Chapter 1. And Yahweh spoke to Musa in the wilderness of Sinai, in the tent of the appointed times, on the first day of the second month, in the second year, after they came out of the country of Mitzrayim, saying, Take the census of all the congregation of the children of Israel, after their mishpachatim, by the baitim of their aptim, with the number of their names, every male by their poles, from 20 years old and upward, all that are able to go forth to war in Israel. You and Aaron shall count them by their armies, and with you there shall be a man of every tribe, every head of the bait of his avot. And these are the names of the men that shall stand with you, of the tribe of Reuben, Eliezer the son of Shethur, of Shimon, Shemuel the son of Zorishadai, of Yehudah, Nachshon the son of Aminadab, of Yisachar, Nathaniel the son of Zuar, of Zebulun, Eliab the son of Helon, of the children of Joseph, of Ephraim, Elishama the son of Amihud, of Manasseh, Gamliel the son of Pendachuz, of Benjamin, Abidan the son of Gideoni, of Dan, Ahiezer the son of Amishadai, of Asher, Pagiel the son of Ochran, of Gad, Elsaaph the son of Deuel, of Naphtali, Ahira the son of Enan. These were the renowned of the congregation, princes of the tribes of their avot, heads of thousands in Israel. And Musa and Aaron took these men, which are expressed by their names, and they assembled all the congregation together on the first day of the second month, and they declared their pedigrees after their mishpachot, by the bait of their avot, according to the number of the names, from 20 years old and upward, by their census, as Yahweh commanded Musa. So he registered them in the wilderness of Sinai. And the children of Reuben, Israel's eldest son, by their generations after their mishpachot, by the bait of their avot, according to the number of their names, by their census, every male from 20 years old and upward, all that were able to go forth to war. Those that were registered of them, even of the tribe of Reuben, were 46,500. Of the children of Shimon, by the generations, after their mishpachot, by the bait of their avot, those that were registered of them, according to the number of the names by their census, every male from 20 years old and upward, all that were able to go forth to war. Those that were registered of them, even of the tribe of Shimon, were 59,300 men. Of the children of Gad, by their generations, after their mishpachot, by the bait of their avot, according to the number of the names, 20 years old and upward, all that were able to go forth to war. Those that were registered of them, even of the tribe of Gad, were 45,650. Of the children of Yehudah, by their generations, after their mishpachot, by the bait of their avot, according to the number of the names, from 20 years old and upward, all that were able to go forth to war. Those that were registered of them, even of the tribe of Yehudah, were 74,600. Of the children of Yisachar, by their generations, after their mishpachot, by the bait of their avot, according to the number of the names, from 20 years old and upward, all that were able to go forth to war. Those that were registered of them, even of the tribe of Yisachar, were 54,400. Of the children of Zebulun, by their generations, after their mishpachot, by the bait of their avot, according to the number of the names, from 20 years old and upward, all that were able to go forth to war. Those that were registered of them, even of the tribe of Zebulun, were 57,400. Of the children of Joseph, namely of the children of Ephraim, by their generations, after their mishpachot, by the bait of their avot, according to the number of the names, from 20 years old and upward, all that were able to go forth to war. Those that were registered of them, even of the tribe of Ephraim, were 40,500. Of the children of Manasseh, by their generations, after their mishpachot, by the bait of their avot, according to the number of the names, from 20 years old and upward, all that were able to go forth to war. Those that were registered of them, even of the tribe of Manasseh, were 32,200. Of the children of Benjamin, by their generations, after their mishpachot, by the bait of their avot, according to the number of the names, from 20 years old and upward, all that were able to go forth to war. Those that were registered of them, even the tribe of Benjamin, were 35,400. Of the tribe of Dan, by their generations after their mishpachot, by the base of their avot, according to the number of the names, from 20 years old and upward, all that were able to go forth to war. Those that were registered of them, even of the tribe of Dan, were 62,700. Of the children of Asher, by their generations, after their mishpachot, by the base of their avot, according to the number of the names, from 20 years old and upward, all that were able to go forth to war. Those that were registered of them, even of the tribe of Asher, were 41,500. Of the children of Naphtali, throughout their generations, after their mishpachot, by the base of their avot, according to the number of the names, from 20 years old and upward, all that were able to go forth to war. Those that were registered of them, even of the tribe of Naphtali, were 53,400. These are those that were registered, which Musa and Aaron registered, and the princes of Israel, being 12 men, each one was for the base of his avot. So were all those that were registered of the children of Israel by the base of their avot, from 20 years old and upward, all that were able to go forth to war in Israel. Even all they that were registered were 600,000 and 3,550. By the Levim, after the tribe of their avot, were not registered among them, for Yahweh had spoken to Musa, saying, Only you shall not number the tribe of Levi, neither take the sum of them among the children of Israel. But you shall appoint the Levim over the tent of testimony, and over all the vessels there, and over all things that belong to it. They shall bear the tent and all the vessels there, and they shall minister to it, and shall encamp round about the tent. And when the tent moves forward, the Levim shall take it down. When the tent is to be pitched, the Levim shall set it up, and the foreigner that comes near it shall be put to death. And the children of Israel shall pitch their tents, every man by his own camp, and every man by his own banner, throughout their hosts. But the Levim shall pitch round about the tent of testimony, that there be no wrath upon the congregation of the children of Israel. And the Levim shall keep the charge of the tent of testimony. And the children of Israel did according to all that Yahweh commanded Musa, so did they. Chapter 2. And Yahweh spoke to Musa and to Aaron, saying, Each man of the children of Israel shall pitch by his own banner, and the ensign of the avot, base, far off about the tent of the appointed time shall they pitch. And on the east side toward the rising of the sun shall they of the banner of the camp of Yehudah pitch throughout their armies, and Nachshon the son of Aminadab shall be captain of the children of Yehudah, and his host, and those that were registered of them were 74,600. And those that do pitch next to him shall be the tribe of Issachar, and Nathaniel the son of Zuar shall be captain of the children of Issachar, and his host, and those that were registered there were 54,400. Then the tribe of Zebulun and Eliab the son of Helon shall be captain of the children of Zebulun, and his host, and those that were registered there were 57,400. All that were registered in the camp of Yehudah were 186,400 throughout their armies. These shall depart first. On the south side shall be the standard of the camp of Reuben, according to their armies, and the captain of the children of Reuben shall be Elizur, the son of Shedeur, and his host, and those that were registered there were 46,500. And those which pitch by him shall be the tribe of Shimon, and the captain of the children of Shimon shall be Shlumiel, the son of Zurishaddai, and his host, and those that were registered of them were 59,300. Then the tribe of God, and the captain of the sons of God shall be Eliasaph, the son of Ruel, and his host, and those that were registered of them were 45,650. All that were registered in the camp of Reuben were 100,000, and 50, and 1,000, and 450 throughout their armies, and they shall go forth in the second rank. Then the tent of the appointed times shall set forward with the camp of the Levim in the midst of the camp, as they encamp, so shall they go forward, every man in his place by their standards. On the west side shall be the standard of the camp of Ephraim, according to their armies, and the captain of the sons of Ephraim shall be Elishama, the son of Ammihud, and his host, and those that were registered of them were 40,500. And by him shall be the tribe of Manasseh, and the captain of the children of Manasseh shall be Gamliel, the son of Pedahzur, and his host, and those that were registered of them were 32,200. Then the tribe of Benjamin, and the captain of the sons of Benjamin shall be Avidah, the son of Gideoni, and his host, and those that were registered of them were 35,400. All that were registered of the camp of Ephraim were 100,000, and 8,000, and 100 throughout their armies, and they shall go forward in the third rank. The banner of the camp of Dan shall be on the north side by their armies, and the captain of the children of Dan shall be Ahiezer, the son of Ammishaddai, and his host, and those that were registered of them were 62,700. And those that encamp by him shall be the tribe of Asher, and the captain of the children of Asher shall be Pigiel, the son of Ochran, and his host, and those that were registered of them were 41,500. And the tribe of Naphtali, and the captain of the children of Naphtali shall be Ahira, the son of Enan, and his host, and those that were registered of them were 53,400. All they that were registered in the camp of Dan were 100,057,600. They shall travel last with their standards. These are those which were registered of the children of Israel by the base of their avot. All those that were registered of the camps throughout their hosts were 600,000 and 3,550. But the Levim were not registered among the children of Israel, as Yahweh commanded Musa. And the children of Israel did according to all that Yahweh commanded Musa. So they pitched by their banners, and so they set forward everyone after their mishpachot, according to the base of their avot. Chapter 3. These also are the generations of Aaron and Musa in the day that Yahweh spoke with Musa in Mount Sinai. And these are the names of the sons of Aaron: Nadab the Bechor, and Avihu, Eleazar, and Ithamar. These are the names of the sons of Aaron, the Kohanim, which were anointed, whom he consecrated to minister in the Kohen's office. And Nadab and Avihu died before Yahweh, when they offered strange fire before Yahweh in the wilderness of Sinai, and they had no children. And Eleazar and Ithamar ministered in the Kohen's office in the sight of Aaron their father. And Yahweh spoke to Musa, saying, Bring the tribe of Levi near, and present them before Aaron the Kohen, that they may minister to him. And they shall keep his charge, and the charge of the whole congregation before the tent of the appointed times, to do the service of the tent. And they shall keep all the instruments of the tent of the appointed times, and the charge of the children of Israel, to do the service of the tent. And you shall give them the Levim to Aaron and to his sons. They are wholly given to him out of the children of Israel. And you shall appoint Aaron and his sons, and they shall wait on their Kohen's office, and the foreigner that comes near shall be put to death. And Yahweh spoke to Musa, saying, And I, behold, I have taken the Levim from among the children of Israel, instead of all the Bechor that opens the womb among the children of Israel. Therefore the Levim shall be mine. Because all the Behor are mine, for on the day that I killed all the Behor in the land of Mitzrayim, I set apart to me all the Behor in Israel, both man and animal. Mine shall they be. I am Yahweh. And Yahweh spoke to Musa in the wilderness of Sinai, saying, Number the children of Levi after the ba'ith of their avot by their mishpachot. Every male from a month old and upward shall you number them. And Musa registered them according to the word of Yahweh, as he was commanded. And these were the sons of Levi by their names, Gershon, and Kohath, and Merari. And these are the names of the sons of Gershon by their mishpachot, Livni and Shimea. And the sons of Kohath by their mishpachot, Amram and Ishari, Hebron and Uziel. And the sons of Merari by their mishpachot, Machli and Mushi. These are the mishpachot of the Levim according to the ba'ith of their avot. Of Gershon was the mishpachah of the Livni, and the mishpachah of the Shimi. These are the mishpachot of the Gershoni, those that were registered of them according to the number of all the males from a month old and upward, even those that were registered of them were 7,500. The mishpachot of the Gershoni shall pitch behind the tent westward, and the chief of the ba'ith of the mishpachah of the Gershoni shall be Eliasaph, the son of Lael. And the charge of the sons of Gershon in the tent of the appointed times shall be the tent, and the tent, the covering there, and the hanging for the door of the tent of the appointed times, and the hangings of the court, and the curtain for the door of the court, which is by the tent, and by the altar round about, and the cords of it for all the service there. And of Kohath was the mishpachah of the Amrami, and the mishpachah of the Izahari, and the mishpachah of the Hebroni, and the mishpachah of the Uzzielites. These are the mishpachot of the Kohathi. In the number of all the males from a month old and upward were 8,600, keeping the charge of the sanctuary. The mishpachot of the sons of Kohath shall pitch on the side of the tent southward, and the chief of the ba'ith of the father of the mishpachot of the Kohathi shall be Elizaphan, the son of Uziel. And their charge shall be the ark, and the table, and the candlestick, and the altars, and the vessels of the sanctuary, wherewith they minister, and the hanging, and all the service there. And Eleazar, the son of Aaron, the Kohen, shall be chief over the chief of the Levim, and have the oversight of them that keep the charge of the sanctuary. Of Merari was a mishpachah of the Machli, and the mishpachah of the Mushi. These are the mishpachot of Merari, and those that were registered of them, according to the number of all the males, from a month old and upward, were 6,200. And the chief of the ba'ith of the father of the mishpachot of Merari was Zuriel, the son of Abihail. These shall pitch on the side of the tent northward. And under the custody and charge of the sons of Merari shall be the boards of the tent, and the bars there, and the pillars there, and the sockets there, and all the vessels there, and all that served thereto, and the pillars of the court round about, and their sockets, and their pins, and their cords. But those that encamp before the tent toward the east, even before the tent of the appointed times eastward, shall be Musa and Aaron and his sons, keeping the charge of the sanctuary for the charge of the children of Israel, and the foreigner that comes near shall be put to death. All that were registered of the Levim, which Musa and Aaron registered at the commandment of Yahweh throughout their mishpachot, all the males from a month old and upward, were 22,000. And Yahweh said to Musa, Number all the Bechor of the males of the children of Israel from a month old and upward, and take the number of their names. And you shall take the Levim for me, I am Yahweh, instead of all the Bechor among the children of Israel, and the cattle of the Levim, instead of all the Bechor among the cattle of the children of Israel. And Musa registered, as Yahweh commanded him, all the Bechor among the children of Israel, and all the Bechor males, by the number of names, from a month old and upward, of those that were registered of them, were 20,213. And Yahweh spoke to Musa, saying, Take the Levim instead of all the Bechor among the children of Israel, and the cattle of the Levim instead of their cattle, and the Levim shall be mine, I am Yahweh. And for those that are to be redeemed of the 273 of the Bechor of the children of Israel, which are more than the Levim, you shall even take 5 shekels apiece by the census. After the shekel of the sanctuary shall you take them. The shekel is 20 gerahs, and you shall give the money wherewith the odd number of them is to be redeemed to Aaron and to his sons. And Musa took the rescue money of them that were over and above them that were redeemed by the Levim. Of the Bechor of the children of Israel, he took the money 1,365 shekels, after the shekel of the sanctuary. And Musa gave the money of them that were redeemed to Aaron and to his sons, according to the word of Yahweh, as Yahweh commanded Musa. Chapter 4. And Yahweh spoke to Musa and to Aaron, saying, Take the sum of the sons of Kohath from among the sons of Levi, after their mishpachot, by the base of their avot, from 30 years old and upward, even until 50 years old, all that enters into the house to do the work in the tent of the appointed times. This shall be the service of the sons of Kohath in the tent of the appointed times, about the most set apart things. And when the camp moves forward, Aaron shall come and his sons, and they shall take down the covering veil, and cover the ark of testimony with it, and shall put thereon the covering of blue leather, and shall spread over it a cloth wholly of blue, and shall put in the staves there, and upon the table of lechem panim, bread of the faces, they shall spread a cloth of blue, and put thereon the dishes, and the spoons, and the bowls, and covers to cover withal, and the continued lechem shall be thereon. And they shall spread upon them a cloth of scarlet, and cover the same with a covering of blue leather, and shall put in the staves there. And they shall take a cloth of blue, and cover the menorah of the light, and the lamps, and its tongs, and his firepan, and all the oil vessels there, wherewith they ministered to it. And they shall put it, and all the vessels there, within a covering of blue leather, and shall put it upon a bar. And upon the golden altar they shall spread a cloth of blue, and cover it with a covering of blue leather, and shall put to the staves there. And they shall take all the instruments of ministry, wherewith they minister in the sanctuary, and put them in a cloth of blue, and cover them with a covering of blue leather, and shall put them on a bar. And they shall take away the ashes from the altar, and spread a purple cloth thereon. And they shall put upon it all the vessels there, wherewith they minister about it, even the censers, the flesh hooks, and the shovels, and the basins, all the vessels of the altar. And they shall spread upon it a covering of blue leather, and put to the staves of it. And when Aaron and his sons have made an end of covering the sanctuary, and all the vessels of the sanctuary, as the camp is to move forward, after that the sons of Kohath shall come to bear it. But they shall not touch any set apart thing, lest they die. These things are the burden of the sons of Kohath in the tent of the appointed times. And to the office of Eleazar, the son of Aaron, the Kohen, is the oil for the light, and the sweet incense, and the daily grain offering, and the anointing oil, and the oversight of all the tent, and of all that is in the sanctuary and the vessels there. And Yahweh spoke to Musa and to Aaron, do not cut off the tribe of the Mishpachoth of the Kohathi from among the Levim, but thus do to them that they may live and not die. When they approach to the most set apart things, Aaron and his sons shall go in and appoint them every one to his service and to his duty. But they shall not go in to see when the set apart things are covered, lest they die. And Yahweh spoke to Musa, saying, take also the sum of the sons of Gershon throughout the Batim of the Ahavoth by the Mishpachoth, from 30 years old and upward until 50 years old shall you number them, all that enter into perform the service, to do the work in the tent of the appointed times. This is a service of the Mishpachoth of the Gershoni, to minister and to carry. And they shall carry the curtains of the tent, and the tent of the appointed times, his covering, and the covering of the blue leather that is above upon it, and the hanging for the door of the tent of the appointed times, and the hangings of the court, and the hanging for the door of the gate of the court, which is by the tent and by the altar round about, and their cords, and all the instruments of their service, and all that is made for them, so shall they serve. And the appointment of Aaron and his sons shall be all the service of the sons of the Gershoni, in all their burdens, and in all their service, and you shall appoint to them in charge all their burdens. This is the service of the Mishpachoth of the sons of Gershon in the tent of the appointed times, and their charge shall be under the hand of Ithamar, the son of Aaron the Kohen. As for the sons of Merari, you shall number them after the Mishpachoth by the base of the Ahavoth. From 30 years old and upward, even to 50 years old, shall you number them, every one that enters into the service to do the work of the tent of the appointed times. And this is a charge of their burden, according to all their service in the tent of the appointed times. The boards of the tent, and the bars there, and the pillars there, and sockets there, and the pillars of the court round about, and their sockets, and their pins, and their cords, with all their instruments, and with all their service, and by name you shall reckon the instruments of the charge of their burden. This is the service of the Mishpachoth of the sons of Merari, according to all their service, in the tent of the appointed times, under the hand of Ithamar the son of Aaron the Kohen. And Musa and Aaron and the chief of the congregation registered the sons of the Kohathi after their Mishpachoth, and after the base of their Ahavoth, from 30 years old and upward, even to 50 years old, every one that enters into the service for the work in the tent of the appointed times. And those that were registered of them by their Mishpachoth were 2,750. These were they that were registered of the Mishpachoth of the Kohathi, all that might do service in the tent of the appointed times, which Musa and Aaron did number, according to the commandment of Yahweh by the hand of Musa. And those that were registered of the sons of Gershon throughout their Mishpachoth, and by the base of their Ahavoth, from 30 years old and upward, even to 50 years old, every one that enters into the service for the work in the tent of the appointed times, even those that were registered of them throughout their Mishpachoth, by the base of their Ahavoth, were 2,630. These are they that were registered of the Mishpachoth of the sons of Gershon, of all that might do service in the tent of the appointed times, whom Musa and Aaron did number, according to the commandment of Yahweh. And those that were registered of the Mishpachoth of the sons of Merari, throughout their Mishpachoth, by the base of their Ahavoth, from 30 years old and upward, even to 50 years old, every one that enters into the service for the work in the tent of the appointed times, even those that were registered of them after the Mishpachoth, were 3,200. These be those that were registered of the Mishpachoth of the sons of Merari, whom Musa and Aaron registered according to the word of Yahweh by the hand of Musa. All those that were registered of the Levim, whom Musa and Aaron and the chief of Israel registered, after the Mishpachoth, and after the Baith of the Ahvoth, from 30 years old and upward, even to 50 years old, everyone that came to do the service of the ministry and the service of the burden in the tent of the appointed times. Even those that were registered of them were 8,580, according to the commandment of Yahweh. They were registered by the hand of Musa, everyone according to his service and according to his burden. Thus were they registered of him, as Yahweh commanded Musa. Chapter 5. And Yahweh spoke to Musa, saying, Command the children of Israel that they put outside of the camp every leper, and every one that has a discharge, and whosoever is defiled by the dead, both male and female, shall ye put out. Outside the camp shall ye put them, that they defile not their camps, in the midst whereof I dwell. And the children of Israel did so, and put them outside the camp, as Yahweh spoke to Musa. So did the children of Israel. And Yahweh spoke to Musa, saying, Speak to the children of Israel, when a man or woman shall commit any transgression that men commit, to do a trespass against Yahweh, and that person be guilty, then they shall confess in the name their transgression which they have done, and he shall recompense his trespass with the principal there, and add to it the fifth part there, and give it to him against whom he has trespassed. But if the man have no kinsman to recompense the trespass, to let the trespass be recompensed to Yahweh, even to the Kohen, beside the ram of the atonement, whereby an atonement shall be made for him. And every offering of all the set apart things of the children of Israel, which they bring to the Kohen, shall be his. And every man's set apart things shall be his. Whatsoever any man gives the Kohen, it shall be his. And Yahweh spoke to Musa, saying, Speak to the children of Israel, and say to them, If any man's wife go aside, and commit a trespass against him, and a man has intercourse with her, and it be secret from the eyes of her husband, and be kept close, and she be defiled, and there be no witness against her, neither was she caught, and the ruach of jealousy come upon him, and he be jealous of his wife, and she be defiled, or the ruach of jealousy come upon him, and he be jealous of his wife, and she be not defiled, then shall the man bring his wife to the Kohen, and he shall bring her offering for her, the 10th part of an ephah of barley meal. He shall pour no oil upon it, nor put frankincense thereon, for it is an offering of jealousy, an offering of memorial, bringing iniquity to remembrance. And the Kohen shall bring her near, and set her before Yahweh. And the Kohen shall take set apart mine in an earthen vessel, and of the dust that is in the floor of the tent the Kohen shall take, and put it into the ma'in. And the Kohen shall set the woman before Yahweh, and uncover the woman's head, and put the offering of memorial in her hands, which is a jealousy offering. And the Kohen shall have in his hand the bitter ma'in that causes the curse. And the Kohen shall charge her by an oath, and say to the woman, If no man has slept with you, and if ye are not gone aside to uncleanness with another instead of your husband, be you free from this bitter ma'in that causes a curse. But if ye have gone aside to another instead of your husband, and if ye be defiled, and some man had intercourse with you beside your husband, then the Kohen shall charge the woman with an oath of cursing, and the Kohen shall say to the woman, Yahweh make you a curse and a cursing among your people, when Yahweh will make your thigh to rot and your belly to swell. And the ma'in that causes the curse shall go into your bowels to make your belly to swell and your thigh to rot. And the woman shall say, Amen, Amen. And the Kohen shall write these curses in a scroll, and he shall blot them out with the bitter ma'in. And he shall cause the woman to drink the bitter ma'in that causes a curse, and the ma'in that causes a curse shall enter into her and become bitter. Then the Kohen shall take the grain offering of jealousy out of the woman's hand, and shall wave the offering before Yahweh, and offer it upon the altar, And the Kohen shall take a handful of the offering, even the memorial there, and burn it upon the altar, and afterward shall cause a woman to drink the mayim. And when he has made her to drink the mayim, then it shall come to pass that if she be defiled, and have done trespass against her husband, that the mayim that causes a curse shall enter into her, and become bitter, and her belly shall swell, and her thigh shall rot, and the woman shall be a curse among her people. And if the woman be not defiled, but be clean, then she shall be free, and shall conceive children. This is the Torah of jealousies. When a wife goes aside to another instead of her husband, and is defiled, or when the ruach of jealousy comes upon him, and he be jealous over his wife, and shall set the woman before Yahweh, and the Kohen shall execute upon her all this Torah. Then shall the man be guiltless from iniquity, and the woman shall bear her iniquity. Please note that the verse 7, which talks about that one is to confess in the name of Yahweh, the transgression which they have done, and he shall recompense his trespass with the principal there, and add to it the fifth part there, and give it to him against whom he has trespassed. So if you defrauded someone, you will return the principal sum plus 20%. Or say, if you owed somebody $100, then you had not paid, you would therefore repent and pay $120 back and make restitution. Restitution is not just by mouth, but by action as well. Also notice that this particular passage speaks about Sota, the adulterous wife. If a woman is suspected of adultery, she was to be brought to the Kohen, and the Kohen was then to judge her according to the halakha of the temple. And if she was found guilty, she would die with the curse. If she was innocent, she would become pregnant and live and give birth to a son. And this is a halakha of Sota, or the adulterous wife. And note. Chapter 6. And Yahweh spoke to Musa, saying, Speak to the children of Israel, and say to them, When either man or woman shall separate themselves to vow a vow of a Nazarite, to separate themselves to Yahweh, he shall separate himself from wine and strong drink, and shall drink no vinegar of wine, or vinegar of strong drink, neither shall he drink any liquor of grapes, nor eat moist grapes, or dried. All the days of his separation shall he eat nothing that is made of the vine ets, from the kernels even to the husk. All the days of the vow of his separation there shall no razor come upon his head, until the days be fulfilled, in which he separates himself to Yahweh. He shall be set apart, and shall let the locks of the hair of his head grow. All the days that he separates himself to Yahweh, he shall come at no dead body. He shall not make himself unclean for his father, or for his mother, for his brother, or for his sister, when they die, because the consecration of his Elohim is upon his head. All the days of his separation he is set apart to Yahweh. And if any man die very suddenly by him, and he has defiled the head of his consecration, then he shall shave his head in the day of his cleansing. On the 7th day shall he shave it. And on the 8th day he shall bring 2 turtle doves or 2 young pigeons to the Kohen, to the door of the tent of the appointed times. And the Kohen shall offer the one for a transgression offering, and the other for a burnt offering, and make atonement for him, for that he transgressed by the dead, and shall set apart his head that same day. And he shall consecrate to Yahweh the days of his separation, and shall bring a lamb of the first year for a trespass offering, but the days that were before shall be lost, because his separation was defiled. And this is the Torah of the Nazarite. When the days of his separation are fulfilled, he shall be brought to the door of the tent of the appointed times, and he shall offer his offering to Yahweh, 1 male lamb of the first year without blemish for a burnt offering, and 1 ewe lamb of the first year without blemish for a transgression offering, and 1 ram without blemish for shalom offerings, and a basket of matzah, cakes of fine flour mingled with oil, and wafers of matzah anointed with oil, and their grain offering and their drink offerings. And the Kohen shall bring them before Yahweh, and shall offer his transgression offering and his burnt offering, and he shall offer the ram for a sacrifice of shalom offerings to Yahweh, with the basket of matzah. The Kohen shall offer also his grain offering and his drink offering. And the Nazarite shall shave the head of his separation at the door of the tent of the appointed times, and shall take the hair of the head of his separation, and put it in the fire which is under the sacrifice of the shalom offerings. And the Kohen shall take the cooked leg of the ram, and 1 matzah cake out of the basket, and 1 matzah wafer, and shall put them upon the hands of the Nazarite, after the hair of his separation is shaven. And the Kohen shall wave them for a wave offering before Yahweh. This is set apart for the Kohen, with the wave breast, and the contribution thigh offering, and after that the Nazarite may drink wine. This is the Torah of the Nazarite who has vowed, and of his offering to Yahweh for his separation, besides that his hand shall get according to the vow which he vowed, so he must do after the Torah of his separation. And Yahweh spoke to Musa, saying, Speak to Aaron and to his sons, saying, On this wise you shall say the increase on the children of Israel, saying to them, Yahweh increase you and guard you. Yahweh make his face to be esteemed upon you, and be merciful to you. Yahweh lift up his countenance upon you, and give you shalom. And they shall put my name upon the children of Israel, and I will increase them. Please note that a Nazarite vow can still be taken today. However, it is discouraged because of the issues of breaking the Nazarite vow. The penalties are pretty heavy. You have to give equivalent values of all these offerings to the Kohen in the gate, so they can absolve you of your sins. And besides that, you cannot attend to your parents' funeral or to your brother or sister's funeral if they die. These are all very strict restrictions. That is why the Nazarite vow today, the Nazir vow, is not recommended. End note. Chapter 7. And it came to pass on the day that Musa had fully set up the tent, and had anointed it, and set them apart, and all the instruments there, both the altar and all the vessels there, and had anointed them, and set them apart, that the princes of Israel, heads of the Baith of their Avoth, who were the princes of the tribes, and were over them that were registered, offered. And they brought their offering before Yahweh, 6 covered wagons, and 12 oxen, a wagon for 2 of the princes, and for each one an ox, and they brought them before the tent. And Yahweh spoke to Musa, saying, Take it from them, that they do the service of the tent of the appointed times. You shall give them to the Levim, to every man according to his service. And Musa took the wagons and the oxen, and gave them to the Levim. 2 wagons and 4 oxen he gave to the sons of Gershon, according to their service. And 4 wagons and 8 oxen he gave to the sons of Merari, according to their service, under the hand of Ithamar, the son of Aaron the Kohen. But to the sons of Kohath he gave none, because the service of the sanctuary belonging to them was that they should bear upon their shoulders. And the princes offered for dedicating of the altar in the day that it was anointed. Even the princes offered their offering before the altar. And Yahweh said to Musa, They shall offer their offering, each prince on his day, for the dedicating of the altar. And he that offered his offering the first day was Nachshon, the son of Aminadab, of the tribe of Yehudah, and his offering was 1 silver charger. The weight was 130 shekels, 1 silver bowl of 70 shekels, after the shekel of the sanctuary. Both of them were full of fine flour mingled with oil for a grain offering, 1 spoon of 10 shekels of gold, full of incense, 1 young bullock, 1 ram, 1 lamb of the first year for a burnt offering, 1 kid of the goats for a transgression offering, and for a sacrifice of shalom offerings, 2 oxen, 5 rams, 5 he-goats, 5 lambs of the first year. This was the offering of Nachshon, the son of Aminadav. On the second day, Nathaniel, the son of Zuar, prince of Issachar, did offer. He offered for his offering 1 silver charger. The weight was 130 shekels, 1 silver bowl of 70 shekels, after the shekel of the sanctuary, both of them full of fine flour mingled with oil for a grain offering. 1 spoon of gold of 10 shekels full of incense. 1 young bullock, 1 ram, 1 lamb of the first year for a burnt offering. 1 kid of the goats for a transgression offering, and for a sacrifice of shalom offerings, 2 oxen, 5 rams, 5 he-goats, 5 lambs of the first year. This was the offering of Nathaniel, the son of Zuar. On the third day, Eliab, the son of Helon, prince of the children of Zebulun, did offer. His offering was 1 silver charger. The weight was 130 shekels, 1 silver bowl of 70 shekels, after the shekel of the sanctuary, both of them full of fine flour mingled with oil for a grain offering. 1 golden spoon of 10 shekels full of incense. 1 young bullock, 1 ram, 1 lamb of the first year for a burnt offering. 1 kid of the goats for a transgression offering, and for a sacrifice of shalom offerings, 2 oxen, 5 rams, 5 he-goats, 5 lambs of the first year. This was the offering of Eliab, the son of Helon. On the fourth day, Eliezer, the son of Shedeur, prince of the children of Reuben, did offer. His offering was 1 silver charger of the weight of 130 shekels, 1 silver bowl of 70 shekels, after the shekel of the sanctuary, both of them full of fine flour mingled with oil for a grain offering. 1 golden spoon of 10 shekels full of incense. 1 young bullock, 1 ram, 1 lamb of the first year for a burnt offering. 1 kid of the goats of a transgression offering, and for a sacrifice of shalom offerings, 2 oxen, 5 rams, 5 he-goats, 5 lambs of the first year. This was the offering of Eliezer, the son of Shedeur. On the fifth day, Shelumiel, the son of Zurishaddai, prince of the children of Shimon, did offer. His offering was 1 silver charger. The weight was 130 shekels, 1 silver bowl of 70 shekels, after the shekel of the sanctuary, both of them full of fine flour mingled with oil for a grain offering. 1 golden spoon of 10 shekels full of incense. 1 young bullock, 1 ram, 1 lamb of the first year for a burnt offering. 1 kid of the goats for a transgression offering, and for a sacrifice of shalom offerings, 2 oxen, 5 rams, 5 he-goats, 5 lambs of the first year. This was the offering of Shelumiel, the son of Zurishaddai. On the sixth day, Eliasaph, the son of Deuel, prince of the children of Gad, offered. His offering was 1 silver charger of the weight of 130 shekels, a silver bowl of 70 shekels, after the shekel of the sanctuary, both of them full of fine flour mingled with oil for a grain offering. 1 golden spoon of 10 shekels full of incense. 1 young bullock, 1 ram, 1 lamb of the first year for a burnt offering. 1 kid of the goats for a transgression offering, and for a sacrifice of shalom offerings, 2 oxen, 5 rams, 5 he-goats, 5 lambs of the first year. This was the offering of Eliasaph, the son of Deuel. On the seventh day, Elishama, the son of Ammihud, prince of the children of Ephraim, offered. His offering was 1 silver charger. The weight was 130 shekels, 1 silver bowl of 70 shekels, after the shekel of the sanctuary, both of them full of fine flour mingled with oil for a grain offering. 1 golden spoon of 10 shekels full of incense. 1 young bullock, 1 ram, 1 lamb of the first year for a burnt offering. 1 kid of the goats for a transgression offering, and for a sacrifice of shalom offerings, 2 oxen, 5 rams, 5 he-goats, 5 lambs of the first year. This was the offering of Elishama, the son of Ammihud. On the 8th day offered Gamliel, the son of Pedazur, prince of the children of Manasseh. His offering was 1 silver charger of the weight of 130 shekels, 1 silver bowl of 70 shekels, after the shekel of the sanctuary, both of them full of fine flour, mingled with oil, for a grain offering. 1 golden spoon of 10 shekels, full of incense. 1 young bullock, 1 ram, 1 lamb of the first year for a burnt offering. 1 kid of the goats for a transgression offering, and for a sacrifice of shalom offerings, 2 oxen, 5 rams, 5 he-goats, 5 lambs of the first year. This was the offering of Gamliel, the son of Pedazur. On the 9th day, Abidan, the son of Gideoni, prince of the children of Binyamin, offered. His offering was 1 silver charger, the weight was 130 shekels, 1 silver bowl of 70 shekels, after the shekel of the sanctuary, both of them full of fine flour mingled with oil for a grain offering. 1 golden spoon of 10 shekels, full of incense. 1 young bullock, 1 ram, 1 lamb of the first year for a burnt offering. 1 kid of the goats for a transgression offering. And for a sacrifice of shalom offerings, 2 oxen, 5 rams, 5 he-goats, 5 lambs of the first year. This was the offering of Abidan, the son of Gideoni. On the 10th day, Ahiezer, the son of Ammishaddai, prince of the children of Dan, offered. His offering was 1 silver charger, the weight was 130 shekels, 1 silver bowl of 70 shekels, after the shekel of the sanctuary, both of them full of fine flour, mingled with oil for a grain offering. 1 golden spoon of 10 shekels, full of incense. 1 young bullock, 1 ram, 1 lamb of the first year for a burnt offering. 1 kid of the goats for a transgression offering. And for a sacrifice of shalom offerings, 2 oxen, 5 rams, 5 he-goats, 5 lambs of the first year. This was the offering of Ahiezer, the son of Ammishaddai. On the 11th day, Pagiel, the son of Ochran, prince of the children of Asher, offered. His offering was 1 silver charger, the weight was 130 shekels, 1 silver bowl of 70 shekels, after the shekel of the sanctuary, both of them full of fine flour mingled with oil for a grain offering. 1 golden spoon of 10 shekels, full of incense. 1 young bullock, 1 ram, 1 lamb of the first year for a burnt offering. 1 kid of the goats for a transgression offering. And for a sacrifice of shalom offerings, 2 oxen, 5 rams, 5 he-goats, 5 lambs of the first year. This was the offering of Pagiel, the son of Ochran. On the 12th day, Ahira, the son of Enan, prince of the children of Naphtali, offered. His offering was 1 silver charger, the weight was 130 shekels, 1 silver bowl of 70 shekels, after the shekel of the sanctuary, both of them full of fine flour mingled with oil for a grain offering. 1 golden spoon of 10 shekels, full of incense. 1 young bullock, 1 ram, 1 lamb of the first year for a burnt offering. 1 kid of the goats for a transgression offering. And for a sacrifice of shalom offerings, 2 oxen, 5 rams, 5 he-goats, 5 lambs of the first year. This was the offering of Ahira, the son of Enan. This was a dedication of the altar in the day when it was anointed by the princes of Israel. 12 chargers of silver, 12 silver bowls, 12 spoons of gold. Each charger of silver weighing 130 shekels each, bowl 70. All the silver vessels weighed 2,400 shekels, after the shekel of the sanctuary. The golden spoons were 12, full of incense, weighing 10 shekels apiece, after the shekel of the sanctuary. All the gold of the spoons was 120 shekels. All the oxen for the burnt offering were 12 bullocks, the rams 12, the lambs of the first year 12, with their grain offering, and the kids of the goats for transgression offering 12. And all the oxen for the sacrifice of shalom offerings were 20 and 4 bullocks, the rams 60, the he-goats 60, the lambs of the first year 60. This was a dedication of the altar. After that it was anointed. And when Musa was gone into the tent of the appointed times to speak with him, then he heard the voice of one speaking to him of the lid of atonement that was upon the ark of testimony from between the 2 cherubims, and he spoke to him. Please note that when the tribes of Israel dedicated the altar, they gave freely and they gave copiously. They were not poor people. They were people of means. As it is stated over here, they dedicated the altar with great giving. And note. Chapter 8. And Yahweh spoke to Musa, saying, Speak to Aaron, and say to him, When you light the lamps, the 7 lamps shall give light over against the menorah. And Aaron did so. He lighted the lamps there over against the candlestick, as Yahweh commanded Musa. And this work of the menorah was of beaten gold. To the shaft there, to the flowers there, was beaten work, according to the pattern which Yahweh had showed Musa. So he made the menorah. And Yahweh spoke to Musa, saying, Take the Levine from among the children of Israel, and cleanse them. And this you shall do to them, to cleanse them. Sprinkle ma'im of purifying upon them, and let them shave all their flesh, and let them wash their clothes, and so make themselves clean. Then let them take a young bullock with his grain offering, even fine flour mingled with oil. Another young bullock shall you take for a transgression offering, and you shall bring the Levine before the tent of the appointed times. You shall gather the whole assembly of the children of Israel together. And you shall bring the Levine before Yahweh, and the children of Israel shall put their hands upon the Levine. And Aaron shall offer the Levine before Yahweh for an offering of the children of Israel, that they may execute the service of Yahweh. And the Levine shall lay their hands upon the heads of the bullocks, and you shall offer the one for a transgression offering, and the other for a burnt offering to Yahweh, to make an atonement for the Levine. And you shall set the Levine before Aaron and before his sons, and offer them for an offering to Yahweh. Thus shall you separate the Levine from among the children of Israel, and the Levine shall be mine. And after that shall the Levine go in to do the service of the tent of the appointed times, and you shall cleanse them and offer them for an offering. For they are wholly given to me from among the children of Israel, instead of such as open every womb, even instead of the Behor of all the children of Israel have I taken them to me. For all the Behor of the children of Israel are mine, both man and beast. On the day that I smote every Behor in the land of Mitzrayim, I set them apart for myself. And I have taken the Levine for all the Behor of the children of Israel. And I have given the Levine as a grain to Aaron and to his sons from among the children of Israel, to do the service of the children of Israel in the tent of the appointed times, and to make an atonement for the children of Israel, that there be no plague among the children of Israel when the children of Israel come near to the sanctuary. And Musa and Aaron and all the congregation of the children of Israel did to the Levine according to all that Yahweh commanded Musa concerning the Levine, so did the children of Israel to them. And the Levine were purified, and they washed their clothes, and Aaron offered them as an offering before Yahweh, and Aaron made atonement for them to cleanse them. And after that went the Levine in to do their service in the tent of the appointed times before Aaron and before his sons, as Yahweh had commanded Musa concerning the Levine, so did they to them. And Yahweh spoke to Musa, saying, This is it that belonged to the Levine. From 25 years old and upward they shall go in to wait upon the service of the tent of the appointed times. And from the age of 50 years they shall cease waiting upon the service there, and shall serve no more, but shall minister with their brethren in the tent of the appointed times to keep the charge, and shall do no service. Thus shall you do to the Levine touching their charge. Please note, when the Levites were 25 years old, they would be trained for 5 years. Then they will do service from 30 years of age to 50 years of age, and then they would retire from their service. They were only to serve 2 weeks a year annually. As for the Kohanim, They were to serve for life. The sons of Aaron had no age restrictions or retirement age. End note. Chapter 9. And Yahweh spoke to Musa in the wilderness of Sinai in the first month of the second year after they were come out of the land of Mitzrayim, saying, Let the children of Israel also keep the Passover at his appointed season. In the 14th day of this month at even, you shall keep it in his appointed season, according to all the rites of it, and according to all the ceremonies there shall you keep it. And Musa spoke to the children of Israel that they should keep the Passover. And they kept the Passover on the 14th day of the first month at even in the wilderness of Sinai, according to all that Yahweh commanded Musa. So did the children of Israel. And there were certain men who were defiled by the dead body of a man, that they could not keep the Passover on that day. And they came before Musa and before Aaron on that day. And those men said to him, We are defiled by the dead body of a man. Wherefore are we kept back, that we may not offer an offering of Yahweh in his appointed season among the children of Israel? And Musa said to them, Stand still, and I will hear what Yahweh will command concerning you. And Yahweh spoke to Musa, saying, Speak to the children of Israel, saying, If any man of you or of your posterity shall be unclean by reason of a dead body, or be in a journey afar off, yet he shall keep the Passover to Yahweh. The 14th day of the second month at even they shall keep it, and eat it with matzah, unleavened bread, and bitter herbs. They shall leave none of it to the morning, nor break any bone of it. According to all the ordinances of the Passover they shall keep it. But the man that is clean, and is not in a journey, and forbears to keep the Passover, even the same soul shall be cut off from among his people, because he brought not the offering of Yahweh in his appointed season. That man shall bear his transgression. And if a foreigner shall sojourn among you, and will keep the Passover to Yahweh, according to the ordinance of the Passover, and according to the manner there, so shall he do. You shall have one ordinance, both for the foreigner and for him that was born in the land. And on the day that the tent was reared up, the cloud covered the tent, namely the tent of the testimony, and at even there was upon the tent, as it were, the appearance of fire until the morning. So it was always a cloud covered it by day, and the appearance of fire by night. And when the cloud was taken up from the tent, then after that the children of Israel journeyed. In the place where the cloud abode, there the children of Israel pitched their tents. At the commandment of Yahweh the children of Israel journeyed, and at the commandment of Yahweh they pitched. As long as the cloud abode upon the tent, they rested in their tents. And when the cloud tarried long upon the tent, many days, then the children of Israel kept the charge of Yahweh and journeyed not. And so it was, when the cloud was a few days upon the tent, according to the commandment of Yahweh, they abode in their tents, and according to the commandment of Yahweh, they journeyed. And so it was, when the cloud abode from even to the morning, and that the cloud was taken up in the morning, then they journeyed, whether it was by day or by night that the cloud was taken up, they journeyed, or whether it was 2 days or a month or a year that the cloud tarried upon the tent, remaining thereon, the children of Israel abode in their tents and journeyed not, but when it was taken up, they journeyed. At the commandment of Yahweh they rested in the tents, and at the commandment of Yahweh they journeyed. They kept the charge of Yahweh at the commandment of Yahweh by the hand of Musa. Notice that we were commanded to keep the Passover even while we were in the wilderness. Even if we are traveling, we are to keep the Passover. If we miss the Passover because we're defiled by a a dead body of a corpse, then we are to keep the Passover at the same time the following month. So the Passover is forever. Also notice that we were instructed that there should be one law for the foreigner and for that which is genetic to Israel, and that we are not to distinguish between the two. Therefore there is no such thing as no-hide laws. The no-hide laws were invented by the rabbis much later. They are not part of the Torah. End note. Chapter 10. And Yahweh spoke to Musa, saying, Make 2 shofarim of silver, of a whole piece shall you make them, that you may use them for the calling of the assembly and for the journeying of the camps. And when they shall blow with them, all the assembly shall assemble themselves to you at the door of the tent of the appointed times. And if they blow but with one trumpet, then the princes which are heads of the thousands of Israel shall gather themselves to you. When you blow an alarm, then the camps that lie on the east parts shall go forward. When you blow an alarm the second time, then the camps that lie on the south side shall take their journey. They shall blow an alarm for their journeys. But when the congregation is to be gathered together, you shall blow, but you shall not sound an alarm. And the sons of Aaron the Kohanim shall blow with the trumpets, and they shall be to you for an ordinance forever throughout your generations. And if you go to war in your land against the enemy that oppressed you, then you shall blow an alarm with the trumpets, and you shall be remembered before Yahweh your power, and you shall be rescued from your enemies. Also in the day of your gladness, and in your solemn days, and in the beginnings of your months, you shall blow with the trumpets over your burnt offerings, and over the sacrifices of your shalom offerings, that they may be to you for a memorial before your power. I am Yahweh your power. And it came to pass on the 20th day of the second month in the second year, that the cloud was taken up from off the tent of the testimony. And the children of Israel took their journeys out of the wilderness of Sinai, and the cloud rested in the wilderness of Paran. And they first took their journey according to the commandment of Yahweh by the hand of Musa. In the first place went the banner of the camp of the children of Yehudah according to their armies, and over to his host was Nachshon, the son of Aminadav. And over the host of the tribe of the children of Yisachar was Nathaniel, the son of Zuar. And over the host of the tribe of the children of Zavulun was Eliav, the son of Helon. And the tent was taken down, and the sons of Gershon and the sons of Merari set forward, bearing the tent. And the banner of the camp of Reuben set forward according to their armies, and over his host was Elizur, the son of Shedeur. And over the host of the tribe of the children of Shimon was Shlumiel, the son of Zurishaddai. And over the host of the tribe of the children of Gad was Eliasaph, the son of Duel. And the Kohathi set forward, bearing the set-apart items of the inner sanctuary, and the others did set up the tent before their arrival. And the banner of the camp of the children of Ephraim set forward according to their armies, and over his host was Elishama, the son of Ammihud. And over the host of the tribe of the children of Manasseh was Gamliel, the son of Pedahzur. And over the host of the tribe of the children of Benjamin was Avidan, the son of Gideoni. And the banner of the camp of the children of Dan set forward, which was a rearward of all the camps throughout their hosts. And over his host was Ahiezer, the son of Ammishaddai. And over the host of the tribe of the children of Asher was Pagiel, the son of Ochran. And over the host of the tribe of the children of Naphtali was Ahira, the son of Enan. Thus were the journey of the children of Israel according to their armies when they set forward. And Musa said to Hobab, the son of Ruel, the Midiani, Musa's father-in-law, We are journeying to the place of which Yahweh said, I will give it to you. You come with us, and we will do you good, for Yahweh has spoken good concerning Israel. And he said to him, I will not go, but I will depart to my own land and to my relatives. And he said, Leave us not, I petition you, for as much as you know how we are to camp in the wilderness, and you may be to us our eyes. And it shall be, if you go with us, yea, it shall be that what goodness Yahweh shall do to us, the same will we do to you. And they departed from the mount of Yahweh, 3 days' journey, and the ark of the covenant of Yahweh went before them in the 3 days' journey to search out a resting place for them. And the cloud of Yahweh was upon them by day, and they went out of the camp. And it came to pass, when the ark set forward, that Musa said, Rise up, Yahweh, and let your enemies be scattered, and let them that hate you flee before you. And when it rested, he said, Return, O Yahweh, to the many thousands of Israel. Chapter 11. And when the people complained, it displeased Yahweh, and Yahweh heard it, and his anger flared out against them. And the fire of Yahweh burnt among them, and consumed them that were in the uttermost parts of the camp. And the people cried to Musa. And when Musa petitioned to Yahweh, the fire was quenched. And when he called the name of the place Taverah, because the fire of Yahweh burned among them. And the mixed multitude that was among them fell to lusting. And the children of Israel also wept again, and said, Who shall give us flesh to eat? We remember the fish which we did eat in Mitzrayim freely, the cucumbers, and the melons, and the leeks, and the onions, and the garlic. But now our soul is dried away. There is nothing at all beside this manna before our eyes. And the manna was as coriander seed, and the color there as a color of bdellium. And the people went about and gathered it, and ground it in mills, or beat it in a mortar, and baked it in pans, and made cakes of it, and the taste of it as a taste of fresh oil. And when the dew fell upon the camp in the night, the manna fell upon it. Then Musa heard the people weep throughout the mishpachot, every man in the door of his tent, and the anger of Yahweh was kindled greatly. Musa also was displeased. And Musa said to Yahweh, Why have you afflicted your servant? And why is it that I have not found favor in your sight, that you have given me such heavy burden of all this people? Have I conceived all this people? Have I begotten them, that you should say to me, Carry them in your bosom, as a nursing father bears a sucking child, to the land which you swore to their avot? Where can I get meat to give to all this people? For they cry to me, saying, Give us meat, that we may eat. I am not able to bear all these people alone, because it is too heavy for me. And if you deal thus with me, kill me. I petition you out of hand, if I found favor in your sight, and let me not look upon your evil. And Yahweh said to Musa, Gather to me 70 men of the elders of Israel, whom you know to be the elders of the people, and officers over them, and bring them to the tent of the appointed times, that they may stand here with you. And I will come down and talk with you there, and I will take of the ruach which is upon you, and will put it upon them, and they shall bear the burden of the people with you, that you bear it not yourself alone. And you speak to the people and say, Set yourselves apart for tomorrow, and you shall eat meat, for you have wept in the ears of Yahweh, saying, Who shall give us meat to eat? For it was well with us in Mitzrayim, therefore Yahweh will give you meat, and you shall eat. You shall not eat 1 day, nor 2 days, nor 5 days, neither 10 days, nor 20 days, but even a whole month, until it comes out of your nostrils, and it be hateful to you, because that you have despised Yahweh, which is among you, and have wept before him, saying, Why did we come out of Mitzrayim? And Musa said, The people among whom I am are 600,000 foot men, and ye have said, I will give them meat, that they may eat a whole month. Shall the flocks and the herds be slain for them, to satisfy them? Or shall all the fish of the sea be gathered together for them, to satisfy them? And Yahweh said to Musa, Is Yahweh's arm too short? You shall see now whether my word shall come to meet you or not. And Musa went out and told the people the words of Yahweh, and gathered the 70 men of the elders of the people, and set them round about the tent. And Yahweh came down in a cloud, and spoke to him, and took of the Ruach that was upon him, and gave it to the 70 elders. And it came to pass that when the Ruach rested upon them, they prophesied, and did not cease. But there remained 2 of the men in the camp. The name of the one was Eldad, and the name of the other Medad. And the Ruach rested upon them, and there were of them that were written, but were not out to the tent, and they prophesied in the camp. And there ran a young man, and told Musa, and said, Eldad and Medad do prophesy in the camp. And Yehoshua the son of Nun, the servant of Musa, one of his young men, answered and said, My master Musa, forbid them. And Musa said to him, Are you jealous for my sake? Would Elohim that all Yahweh's people were prophets, and that Yahweh would put his Ruach upon them all? And Musa got him into the camp, he and the elders of Israel. And there went forth a wind from Yahweh, and brought quails from the sea, and let them fall by the camp, as it were a day's journey on this side, and as it were a day's journey on the other side round about the camp, and as it were 2 cubits high upon the face of the land. And the people stood up all that day, and all that night, and all the next day, and they gathered the quails. He that gathered least gathered 10 homers, and they spread them all abroad for themselves round about the camp. And while the meat was yet between their teeth, before it was chewed, the wrath of Yahweh was kindled against the people, and Yahweh smote the people with a very great plague. And he called the name of that place Kibroth Ha'atava, because there they buried the people that lusted. And the people journeyed from Kibroth Ha'atava to Hazeroth, and abode at Hazeroth. Please note that the children of Israel lusted due to the mixed multitude, the Gentiles that came out of Egypt, that had joined on to Israel. They were the ones who influenced the children of the Israel to lust. Notice also that when the fire came, it destroyed the people on the outskirts at the back, meaning that if Torah is in the middle and people are on the edge, for instance, if they're on the border and they're on the border of the Torah, i.e. they're Torah spectators, they are not Torah doers, those people shall be destroyed. You have to be a Torah doer to survive and to have protection. So when these people lusted, and the mixed multitude caused other children of Israel to lust and to complain, then the judgment was set. So the meat was given, but they were already judged to be destroyed for their unfaithfulness to the Elohim of Israel. So it is very important in all times, good and bad, that we always give thanks and give esteem to the Abba Yahweh. As Eldad and Medad were prophesying, they were prophesying about the battle of Armageddon. And this is why they also prophesied the death of Moses. This is why Yehoshua ben Nun was very upset, because Moses was his teacher and his rabbi, his elder, and did not like it. So he went and told Moses, and this is why Moses tells him, "Are you jealous for my sake?" End note. Chapter 12. And Miriam and Aaron spoke against Musa because of the Cushite woman whom he had married, for he had married a Cushite woman. And they said, Has Yahweh indeed spoken only by Musa? Has he not spoken also by us? And Yahweh heard it. Now the man Musa was very meek, above all the men which were upon the face of the earth. And Yahweh spoke immediately with Musa, and with Aaron, and to Miriam, Come out, you three, into the tent of the appointed times. And they three went. And Yahweh came down in the pillar of the cloud, and stood in the door of the tent, and called Aaron and Miriam, and they both came forth. And he said, Hear now my words. If there be a prophet among you, I, Yahweh, will make myself known to him in a vision, and will speak to him in a dream. My servant Musa is not so, who is trustworthy in all mine baith. With him will I speak mouth to mouth, and not in dark speeches. And the similitude of Yahweh shall he behold. Why then were you not afraid to speak against my servant Musa? And the anger of Yahweh burned hot against them, and he departed. And the cloud departed from off the tent, and behold, Miriam became leprous, white as snow. And Aaron looked upon Miriam, and behold, she was leprous. And Aaron said to Musa, Alas, my master, I beseech you, lay not the transgression upon us, wherein we have done foolishly, and wherein we have transgressed. Please let her not be as one dead, of when, coming out of our mother's womb, with our flesh half consumed. And Musa cried to Yahweh, saying, Heal her now, O El, I beseech you. And Yahweh said to Musa, If her father had but spit in her face, should she not be shamed 7 days? Let her be shut out from the camp 7 days, and after that let her be received in again. And Miriam was shut out from the camp 7 days, and the people journeyed not till Miriam was brought in again. And afterward the people removed from Hazeroth, and pitched in the wilderness of Paran. Please take note. When a man represents God, and people speak against that man, then God will deal with those treacherous kind of people. One should refrain from making comments, slander, accusations, tale-bearing about men of God, servants of Yahweh, who represent him. End note. Chapter 13. And Yahweh spoke to Musa, saying, Send you men, that they may search the land of Canaan, which I give to the children of Israel. Of every tribe of their Ahavoth shall you send a man, every one a ruler among them. And Musa by the commandment of Yahweh sent them from the wilderness of Paran, all those men who were the heads of the children of Israel. And these were their names: of the tribe of Reuben, Shemua, the son of Zachur; of the tribe of Shimon, Shaphat, the son of Hori; of the tribe of Yehudah, Caleb, the son of Yephaniah; of the tribe of Issachar, Eagle, the son of Joseph; of the tribe of Ephraim, Oshia, the son of Nun; of the tribe of Benjamin, Palti, the son of Raphu; of the tribe of Zebulun, Gadiel, the son of Sodi; of the tribe of Joseph, namely, of the tribe of Manasseh, Gadi, the son of Suzi; of the tribe of Dan, Amiel, the son of Gimali; of the tribe of Asher, Sithur, the son of Michael; of the tribe of Naphtali, Nabi, the son of Wapshi; of the tribe of Gad, Guel, the son of Machi. These are the names of the men which Musa sent to spy out the land. And Musa called Oshia, the son of Nun, Yehoshua. And Musa sent them to spy out the land of Canaan, and said to them, Get up this way southward, and go up into the mountain, and see the land, what it is, and the people that dwell therein, whether they be strong or weak, few or many, and what the land is that they dwell in, whether it be good or bad, and what cities they be that they dwell in, whether in tents or in strongholds, and what the land is, whether it be fat or lean, whether there be wood therein or not. And you be of good courage, and bring up the fruit of the land. Now the time was the time of the first ripe grapes. So they went up, and searched the land from the wilderness of Zin to Rehob, as men come to Hamath. And they ascended by the south, and came to Hebron, where Ahiman, Shishai, and Talmai, the children of Anak, were. Now Hebron was built 7 years before Zon in Mitzrayim. And they came to the brook of Eshcol, and cut down from there a branch with one cluster of grapes, and they bare it between two upon a staff. And they brought of the pomegranates and of the figs. The place was called the brook Eshcol, because of the cluster of grapes which the children of Israel cut down from thence. And they returned from searching of the land after 40 days. And they went and came to Musa, and to Aaron, and to all the congregation of the children of Israel, to the wilderness of Paran, to Kadesh, and brought back word to them, and to all the congregation, and showed them the fruit of the land. And they told him and said, We came to the land where you sent us, and indeed flows with milk and honey, and this is the fruit of it. Nevertheless the people be strong that dwell in the land, and the cities are walled and very great. And moreover, we saw the children of Anak there. The Amaleki dwell in the land of the south, and the Hitti, and the Yebusi, and the Amori dwell in the mountains, and the Canaani dwell by the sea, and by the coast of Yarden. And Caleb silenced the people before Musa, and said, Let us go up at once, and possess it, for we are well able to overcome it. But the men that went up with him said, We be not able to go up against the people, for they are stronger than we. And they brought up an evil report of the land, which they had searched to the children of Israel, saying, The land through which we have gone to search it is a land that devours its inhabitants, and all the people that we saw in it are men of a great stature. And there we saw the Nephilim, the sons of Anak, which came from the Nephilim, and we were in our own sight as grasshoppers, and so we were in their sight. Chapter 14. And all the congregation lifted up their voice and cried, and the people wept that night. And all the children of Israel murmured against Musa and against Aaron. And the whole congregation said to them, Would Elohim that we have died in the land of Mitzrayim, or would Elohim we had died in this wilderness? And wherefore has Yahweh brought us to this land to fall by the sword, that our wives and our children should be a prey? Were it not better for us to return into Mitzrayim? And they said one to another, Let us make a captain, and let us return into Mitzrayim. Then Musa and Aaron fell on their faces before all the assembly of the congregation of the children of Israel. And Yehoshua the son of Nun, and Caleb the son of Yepunniah, which were of them that searched the land, tore their clothes. And they spoke to all the company of the children of Israel, saying, The land which we pass through to search it is an exceeding good land. If Yahweh delight in us, then he will bring us into this land, and give it us, a land which flows with milk and honey. Do not rebel against Yahweh, neither fear the people of the land, for they are food for us. Their defense is departed from them, and Yahweh is with us. Do not be fearful of them. But all the congregation threatened to stone them with stones, and the esteem of Yahweh appeared in the tent of the appointed times, before all the children of Israel. And Yahweh said to Musa, How long will this people provoke me? And how long will it be that they believe me for all the signs which I have performed among them? I will smite them with the pestilence, and disinherit them, and will make of you a greater nation and mightier than they. And Musa said to Yahweh, Then the Mitzrayim shall hear it, for you brought up this people in your might from among them. and they will tell it to the inhabitants of this land. For they have heard that you, Yahweh, are among this people, that you, Yahweh, are seen face to face, and that your cloud stands over them, and that you go before them by daytime in a pillar of a cloud, and in a pillar of fire by night. Now if you shall kill all this people as one man, then the nations which have heard the fame of you will speak, saying, because Yahweh was not able to bring this people into the land which he swore to them, therefore he has slain them in the wilderness. And now, I beseech you, let the power of my Yahweh be great, according to as you have spoken, saying, Yahweh is long-suffering, and of great loving kindness, forgiving iniquity and transgression, and by no means clearing the guilty, visiting the iniquity of the avot upon the children to the third and fourth generation. Pardon, I beseech you, the iniquity of this people, according to the greatness of your loving kindness, and as you have forgiven this people from Mitzrayim even until now. And Yahweh said, I have pardoned according to your word. But as truly as I live, all the earth shall be filled with the esteem of Yahweh, because all those men which have seen my esteem and my miracles which I did in Mitzrayim and in the wilderness, and have tested me now these 10 times, and have not obeyed my voice. Surely they shall not see the land which I swore to their avot, neither shall any of them that provoked me see it. But my servant Caleb, because he had another Ruach with him, and has followed me completely, I will bring him into the land into which he went, and his descendants shall possess it. Now the Amaleki and the Canaanite dwelt in the valley. Tomorrow turn around, and turn towards the wilderness by the way of the Sea of Reeds. And Yahweh spoke to Musa and to Aaron, saying, How long shall I bear with this evil congregation, which murmurs against me? I have heard the murmurings of the children of Israel, which they murmur against me. Say to them, As truly as I live, says Yahweh, as you have spoken in my ears, so will I do to you. Your carcasses shall fall in this wilderness, and all that were registered of you, according to your whole number, from 20 years old and upward, which have murmured against me. Be sure you will not come into the land, concerning which I swore to make you dwell therein, except Caleb the son of Yephuneh, and Yehoshua the son of Nun. But your little ones, whom you said would become victims of war, them will I bring in, and they shall enjoy the land which you have despised. But as for you, your carcasses, they shall fall in this wilderness, and your children shall wander in the wilderness 40 years, and suffer your untrustworthiness, until your dead bodies are wasted away in the wilderness. After the number of the days in which you search the land, even 40 days, each day for a year, shall you bear your iniquities, even 40 years, and you shall know what enmity means with me. I, Yahweh, have said, I will surely do it to all this evil congregation that are gathered together against me. In this wilderness they shall be consumed, and there they shall die. And the men which Musa sent to search the land, who returned, and made all the congregation to murmur against him, by bringing in slander upon the land, even those men that did bring up the evil report upon the land, died by the plague before Yahweh. But Yehoshua the son of Nun, and Caleb the son of Yephuneh, which were of the men that went to search the land, lived still. And Musa told these sayings to all the children of Israel, and the people mourned greatly. And they rose up early in the morning, and climbed up into the top of the mountain, saying, Behold, we be here, and we go up to the place which Yahweh has promised, for we have transgressed. And Musa said, Wherefore now do you transgress the commandment of Yahweh? But it shall not prosper. Do not go up, for Yahweh is not among you, that you be not smitten before your enemies. For the Amaleki and the Canaanite are there before you, and you shall fall by the sword, because you are turned away from Yahweh, therefore Yahweh will not be with you. But they presumed to go up to the hilltop. Nevertheless, the ark of the covenant of Yahweh and Musa departed not out of the camp. Then the Amaleki came down, and the Canaanite which dwelt in that hill, and attacked them, and drove them back as far as Hormah. Chapter 15. And Yahweh spoke to Musa, saying, Speak to the children of Israel, and say to them, When you be come into the land of your inhabitations, which I give to you, and will make an offering by fire to Yahweh, a burnt offering, or a sacrifice in performing a vow, or in a freewill offering, or in your Moedim, to make a sweet savour to Yahweh of the herd or of the flock. Then shall he that offers his offering to Yahweh bring a grain offering of a tenth deal of flour, mingled with the fourth part of a hin of oil, and the fourth part of a hin of wine for a drink offering shall you prepare with the burnt offering or sacrifice for one lamb. Or for a ram you shall prepare for a grain offering 2/10 deals of flour mingled with the third part of a hin of oil. And for a drink offering you shall offer the third part of a hin of wine for a sweet savour to Yahweh. And when you prepare a bullock for a burnt offering, or for a sacrifice in performing a vow, or shalom offerings to Yahweh, then shall he bring with the bullock a grain offering of 3/10 deals of flour mingled with half a hin of oil. And you shall bring for a drink offering half a hin of wine, for an offering made by fire of a sweet savour to Yahweh. Thus shall it be done for one bullock, or for one ram, or for a lamb, or a kid, according to the number that you shall prepare, so shall you do to everyone according to their number. All that are born of the country shall do these things after this manner, in offering an offering made by fire of a sweet savour to Yahweh. And if a foreigner sojourn with you, or whosoever be among you in your generations, and will offer an offering made by fire of a sweet savour to Yahweh, as you do, so he shall do. One ordinance shall be both for you and of the congregation, and also for the foreigner that dwells with you, an ordinance forever in your generations. As you are, so shall the foreigner be before Yahweh. One Torah and one manner shall be for you and for the foreigner that dwells with you. And Yahweh spoke to Musa, saying, Speak to the children of Israel, and say to them, When you come into the land where I bring you, then it shall be that when you eat of the lachem of the land, you shall offer up a heave offering to Yahweh. You shall offer up a cake of the first of your dough for a heave offering, as you do the heave offering of the threshing floor, so shall you present it. Of the first of your dough you shall give to Yahweh a contributory offering in your generations. And if you have erred and not observed all these commandments which Yahweh has spoken to Musa, even all that Yahweh has commanded you by the hand of Musa from the day that Yahweh commanded Musa, and henceforward among your generations, then it shall be, if anything be committed in ignorance outside the knowledge of the congregation, that all the congregation shall offer one young bullock for a burnt offering, for a sweet savour to Yahweh, and his grain offering, and his drink offering, according to the manner, and one kid of the goats for a transgression offering. And the Kohen shall make atonement for all the congregation of the children of Israel, and it shall be forgiven them, for it is ignorance. And they shall bring their offering, a sacrifice made by fire to Yahweh, and their transgression offering before Yahweh for their ignorance. And it shall be forgiven all the congregation of the children of Israel, and the foreigner that dwells among them, seeing all the people were in ignorance. And if anyone transgresses through ignorance, then he shall bring a female goat of the first year for a transgression offering. And the Kohen shall make atonement for the soul that transgresses ignorantly, when he transgresses by ignorance before Yahweh, to make atonement for him, and it shall be forgiven him. You shall have one Torah for him that transgresses through ignorance, both for him that is born among the children of Israel, and for the foreigner that lives among them. But the person that commits transgressions deliberately, whether he be born in the land or a foreigner, the same insults Yahweh, and that person must be cut off from among his people. Because he has despised the word of Yahweh, and has broken his commandment, that soul shall utterly be cut off. His iniquity shall be upon him. And while the children of Israel were in the wilderness, they found a man that gathered sticks upon the Sabbath day. And they that found him gathering sticks brought him to Musa and Aaron, and to all the congregation, and they put him in a ward, because it was not declared what should be done to him. And Yahweh said to Musa, The man shall be surely put to death. All the congregation shall stone him with stones outside the camp. And all the congregation brought him outside the camp, and stoned him with stones, and he died, as Yahweh commanded Musa. And Yahweh spoke to Musa, saying, Speak to the sons of Israel, and command them that they make tzitzits in the four corners of their garments throughout their generations, and that they put upon the fringe of the borders a thread of blue. And it shall be to you for a fringe, that you may look upon it, and remember all the commandments of Yahweh, and do them, that you seek not after your own heart and your own eyes, after which you used to go a-whoring, that you may remember and do all my commandments, and be set apart to your power. I am Yahweh your power, which brought you out of the land of Mitzrayim, to be your power. I am Yahweh your power. Please note, in matters of ignorance, when a particular person that belongs to the house of Israel transgresses, makes a sin that is without knowledge, even today he is supposed to bring equivalent value of a sacrifice of a goat to the Kohen in the gate. And the Kohen in the gate is the one to pronounce forgiveness upon him, facing Yahweh's holy temple. And note, chapter 16. Now Korah, the son of Ishari, the son of Kohath, the son of Levi, and Dathan and Abiram, the sons of Eliab, and On, the son of Peleth, sons of Reuben, took men, and they rose up before Musa with certain of the children of Israel, 250 princes of the assembly, famous in the congregation, men of renown. And they gathered themselves together against Musa and against Aaron, and said to them, You take too much upon you, seeing all the congregation are set apart, every one of them, and Yahweh is among them. Wherefore then lift you up yourselves above the congregation of Yahweh. And when Musa heard it, he fell upon his face, and he spoke to Korah and to all his company, saying, Even tomorrow Yahweh will show who are his and who is set apart, and will cause him to come near to him, even him whom he has chosen. Will he cause to come near to him? This do, take your censers, Korah and all his company, and put fire therein, and put incense in them, before Yahweh tomorrow. And it shall be that the man whom Yahweh will choose, he shall be set apart. You take too much upon you, you sons of Levi. And Musa said to Korah, Here I petition you, you sons of Levi. It might seem a small thing to you, that the Elohim of Israel has separated you from the congregation of Israel, to bring you near to himself, to do the service of the tent of Yahweh, and to stand before the congregation to minister to them. And he has brought you near to him, and all your brethren, the sons of Levi, with you, and yet you seek the priesthood also. For which cause both you and all your company are gathered together against Yahweh. And what is Aaron, that you murmur against him? And Musa sent to call Dathan and Abiram, the sons of Eliab, which said, We will not come up. Is it a small thing that you have brought us up out of a land that flows with milk and honey, to kill us in the wilderness, except you make yourselves altogether a prince over us. Moreover, you have not brought us into a land that flows with milk and honey, or given us inheritance of fields and vineyards. Will you now put out the eyes of these men? We will not come up. And Musa was very angry and said to Yahweh, Respect not their offering. I have not taken one ass from them, neither have I hurt one of them. And Musa said to Korah, Be you and all your company before Yahweh, you and they and Aaron tomorrow, and every man his censer, and put incense in them, and bring it before Yahweh, every man and his censer, 250 censers, you also and Aaron, each of you his censer. And they took every man his censer, and put fire in them, and laid incense thereon, and stood in the door of the tent of the appointed times with Musa and Aaron. And Korah gathered all the congregation against them to the door of the tent of the appointed times, and the esteem of Yahweh appeared to all the congregation. And Yahweh spoke to Musa and to Aaron, saying, Separate yourselves from among this congregation, that I may consume them in a moment. And they fell upon their faces and said, O El, the Elohim of the Ruachot of all flesh, shall one man transgress, and will you be wroth with all the congregation? And Yahweh spoke to Musa, saying, Speak to the congregation, saying, Move away from the tents of Korah, Dathan, and Abiram. And Musa rose up and went to Dathan and Abiram, and the elders of Israel followed him. And he spoke to the congregation, saying, Depart, I petition you, from the tents of these wicked men, and touch nothing of theirs, lest you be consumed in all their transgressions. So they got up from the tents of Korah, Dathan and Abiram, on all sides, and Dathan and Abiram came out and stood in the door of their tents, and their wives, and their sons, and their little children. And Musa said, Hereby you shall know that Yahweh has sent me to do all these works, for I have not done them of my own mind. If these men die the common death of all men, or if they be visited after the visitation of all men, then Yahweh has not sent me. But if Yahweh make a new thing, and the earth opens her mouth, and swallows them up with all that they appertain to them, and they go down quick into Sheol, then you shall understand that these men have provoked Yahweh. And it came to pass, as he had made an end of speaking all these words, that the ground opened that was under them, and the earth opened her mouth, and swallowed them up, and their batim, houses, and all the men that pertained to Korah, and all their goods. They and all that pertained to them went down alive into Sheol, and the earth closed upon them, and they perished from among the congregation. And all Israel that were round about them fled at the cry of them, for they said, Lest the earth swallow us up also. And there came out a fire from Yahweh, and consumed the 250 men that offered incense. And Yahweh spoke to Musa, saying, Speak to Eleazar, the son of Aaron, the Kohen, that he take up the censers out of the burning, and scatter the fire some distance away, for they are set apart. The censers of these transgressors against their own souls, let them make them broad plates for a covering of the altar, for they offered them before Yahweh. Therefore they are set apart, and they shall be a sign to the children of Israel. And Eleazar the Kohen took the brazen censers, wherewith they that were burnt had offered, and they were made broad plates for a covering of the altar, to be a remembrance to the children of Israel, that no foreigner, which is not of the seed of Aaron, come near to offer incense before Yahweh, that he be not as Korah, and as his company, as Yahweh said to him by the hand of Musa. But tomorrow all the congregation of the children of Israel murmured against Musa and against Aaron, saying, You have killed the people of Yahweh. And it came to pass, when the congregation was gathered against Musa and against Aaron, that they looked toward the tent of the appointed times, and behold, the cloud covered it, and the esteem of Yahweh appeared. And Musa and Aaron came before the tent of the appointed times. And Yahweh spoke to Musa, saying, Get away from among this congregation, that I may consume them as in a moment. And they fell upon their faces. And Musa said to Aaron, Take a censer, and put fire therein from off the altar, and put on incense, and go quickly to the congregation, and make atonement for them, for there is wrath gone out from Yahweh, the plague is begun. And Aaron took as Musa commanded, and ran into the midst of the congregation, and behold, the plague was begun among the people. And he put on incense, and made atonement for the people. And he stood between the dead and the living, and the plague was stayed. Now they that died in the plague were 14,700, beside them that died about the matter of Korah. And Aaron returned to Musa to the door of the tent of the appointed times, and the plague was stayed. Chapter 17. And Yahweh spoke to Musa, saying, Speak to the children of Israel, and take of every one of them a rod according to the base of their ahavoth, of all their princes, according to the base of their ahavoth, 12 rods. You write every man's name upon his rod, and you shall write Aaron's name upon the rod of Levi. For 1 rod shall be for the head of the base of their ahavoth, and you shall lay them up in the tent of the appointed times, before the testimony, where I will meet with you. And it shall come to pass that the man's rod, whom I shall choose, shall blossom, and I will make to cease from me the murmurings of the children of Israel, whereby they murmur against you. And Musa spoke to the children of Israel, and each of their princes gave him a rod, 1 for each prince, according to their ahavoth houses, even 12 rods, and the rod of Aaron was among their rods. And Musa laid up the rods before Yahweh in the tent of witness. And it came to pass that on the next day, when Musa went into the tent of witness, and behold, the rod of Aaron for the base of Levi was budded, and brought forth buds, and bloomed blossoms, and yielded almonds. And Musa brought out all the rods from before Yahweh to all the children of Israel, and they looked, and every man took his rod. And Yahweh said to Musa, Bring Aaron's rod again before the testimony, to be kept for a sign against the rebels, and that you shall put away their murmurings from me, that they do not die. And Musa did so, as Yahweh commanded him, so did he. And the children of Israel spoke to Musa, saying, Behold, we will die, we will perish, we all perish. Whosoever comes anywhere near the tent of Yahweh shall die. Shall we be consumed with death? Please note, this rod that Moses had given to Aaron, this is believed to be the same rod that Adam broke from the tree of life. So therefore, because this rod budded almonds, it is believed that the tree of life was an almond tree. End note. Chapter 18. And Yahweh said to Aaron, You and your sons and your father's base with you shall be responsible for any desecration of the sanctuary, and you and your sons with you will be held responsible for any impropriety in your priestly work. And your brethren also of the tribe of Levi, the tribe of your father, bring with you, that they may be joined to you and minister to you. But you and your sons with you shall minister before the tent of witness. And they shall keep your charge, and the charge of all the tent. Only they shall not come near the vessels of the sanctuary and the altar, that neither they nor you also die. And they shall be joined to you, and keep the charge of the tent of the appointed times, for all the service of the tent, and a foreigner shall not come near to you. And you shall keep the charge of the sanctuary, and the charge of the altar, that there be no wrath any more upon the children of Israel. And I, behold, I have taken your brethren, the Levim, from among the children of Israel. To you they are given as a gift from Yahweh, to do the service of the tent of the appointed times. Therefore you and your sons with you shall keep your Kohen's office for everything of the altar and within the veil, and you shall serve. I have given you the Kohen's office to you as a gift for service, and the foreigner that comes near shall be put to death. And Yahweh spoke to Aaron, Behold, I also have given you the charge of mine love offerings, of all the set-apart things of the children of Israel. To you have I given them by reason of the anointing, and to your sons by an ordinance forever. This shall be yours for the most set-apart things, reserved from the fire, every offering of theirs, every grain offering of theirs, and every transgressing offering of theirs, and every trespass offering of theirs, which they shall render to me, shall be most set apart for you and for your sons. In the most set apart place you shall eat it. Every male shall eat it. This shall be set apart to you. And this is yours, the love offering of their grain, with all the wave offerings of the children of Israel. I have given them to you, and to your sons, and to your daughters with you, by a statute forever. Everyone that is richly pure in your base shall eat of it. All the best of the oil, and all the best of the wine, and of the wheat, the first fruits of them, which they shall offer to Yahweh, them have I given you. And whatsoever is first ripe in the land, which they shall bring to Yahweh, shall be yours. Everyone that is clean in your base shall eat of it. Everything devoted in Israel shall be yours. Everything that opens a womb in all flesh, which they bring to Yahweh, whether it be of men or beasts, shall be yours. Nevertheless, the Bechor of man you shall redeem, and the Bechor of unclean animals you shall redeem. And those that are to be redeemed from a month old shall you redeem, according to your estimation, for the money of 5 shekels, after the shekel of the sanctuary, which is 20 gerahs. But the Bechor of a cow, or the Bechor of a sheep, or the Bechor of a goat, you shall not redeem. They are set apart. You shall sprinkle their blood upon the altar, and shall burn their fat for an offering made by fire, for a sweet savour to Yahweh. And the flesh of them shall be yours, as a wave breast, and as the right thigh are yours. All the love offerings of the set apart things, which the children of Israel offer to Yahweh, have I given you, and your sons and your daughters with you by a statute forever. It is a covenant of salt forever before to you and to your descendants with you. And Yahweh spoke to Aaron, You shall have no inheritance in their land, neither shall you have any part among them. I am your part, and your inheritance among the children of Israel. And behold, I have given the children of Levi all the tenth in Israel for an inheritance, for their service which they serve, even the service of the tent of the appointed times. Neither must the children of Israel henceforth come near the tent of the appointed times, lest they bear transgression and die. But the Levim shall do the service of the tent of the appointed times, and they shall bear their iniquity. It shall be a statute forever throughout your generations, that among the children of Israel they have no inheritance. But the tithes of the children of Israel, which they offer as a heave offering to Yahweh, I have given to the Levim to inherit. Therefore I have said to them, Among the children of Israel they shall have no inheritance. And Yahweh spoke to Musa, saying, Thus speak to the Levim, and say to them, When you take of the children of Israel the tithes which I have given you from them for your inheritance, then you shall offer up for a love offering of it for Yahweh even a 10th part of the tithe. And your love offering shall be reckoned to you as though it were the wheat of the threshing floor, and as the fullness of the winepress. Thus you also shall offer a love offering to Yahweh of all your tithes which you receive of the children of Israel, and you shall give there Yahweh's love offering to Aaron the Kohen. Out of all your gifts you shall offer every heave offering of Yahweh, all of the best there, even the set apart there out of it. Therefore you shall say to them, When you have heaved the best there from it, then it shall be counted to the Levim as increase of the threshing floor, and as the increase of the winepress, and you shall eat it in every place, you and your households, for it is your reward for your service in the tent of the appointed times. And you shall bear no transgression by reason of it, when you have heaped from it the best of it. Neither shall you pollute the set-apart things of the children of Israel, lest you die. Please note, as you have just heard, according to the Torah, the love offerings, as stated in verse 8, it says that the charge of the love offerings of all the set-apart things of the children of Israel, they have been given to the Levim as an ordinance, as a commandment forever. So the love offerings, the tithes, 10%, has been given to the Levim forever. The tzedakah, which they are supposed to distribute according to their understanding and desire, as they will decide where it's needed the most. But the love offerings and the tithes, they are for the Levim, and they can use them wherever they wish. Since the Levim have no part in the land, they do not get an inheritance, but they are not prohibited from purchasing land with the money that they receive. So, henceforth, Yahweh has declared forever that tithes and the love offerings belong to the Levim only, the Kohen in your gates. The children of Israel, all that belong to the house of Israel, are supposed to do a Pidiyah Haben, a redemption ceremony for the firstborn son, or if they have an animal, that also the animal needs to be considered also, being an unclean animal. All the firstborn animals, the first one, the Bechor, belongs to the Kohen, the Levim. When you have a son that was born naturally through the womb of a woman, and it's your firstborn son, you are to bring today 5 shekels of silver to the Kohen in the gate. 5 shekels of silver is today equivalent to $80 USD, or 60 pounds sterling, United Kingdom. And then the Levim, the Kohen in the gate, is supposed to perform the Pidiyah Haben, the redemption ceremony. This is a statute forever. That although they are supposed to give the tithes and the love offerings to the Levites, and hence the Levites are supposed to take a tenth of those tithes and the love offerings, and they are supposed to give them to the Kohanim, to the sons of Aaron. Therefore, there is a difference between a Levim and a Kohen. We are not all the same. Take note. End note. Chapter 19. And Yahweh spoke to Musa and to Aaron, saying, This is the ordinance of the Torah which Yahweh has commanded, saying, Speak to the children of Israel, that they bring you a red heifer without spot, wherein there is no blemish, and has never been yoked. And you shall give her to Eleazar the Kohen, that he may bring her forth outside the camp, and one shall slaughter her before his face. And Eleazar the Kohen shall take of her blood with his finger, and sprinkle of her blood directly before the tent of the appointed time 7 times. And one shall burn the heifer in his sight, her skin and her flesh and her blood with her excrement shall he burn. And the Kohen shall take cedar wood, and hyssop and scarlet, and cast it into the midst of the burning of the heifer. And the Kohen shall wash his clothes, and he shall bathe his flesh in mayim, and afterwards he shall come into the camp, and the Kohen shall be unclean until the evening. And he that burns her shall wash his clothes in mayim, and bathe his flesh in mayim, and shall be unclean until the evening. And a man that is clean shall gather up the ashes of the heifer, and lay them up outside the camp in a clean place. And it shall be kept for the congregation of the children of Israel for a mayim of menstruation, separation. It is for impurity. And he that gathers the ashes of the heifer shall wash his clothes, and be unclean until the evening. And it shall be to the children of Israel, and to the foreigner that lives among them, for a statute forever. He that touches a dead body of any man shall be unclean 7 days. He shall purify himself with it on the 3rd day, and on the 7th day he shall be clean. But if he does not purify himself the third day, then the seventh day he shall not be clean. Whosoever touches the dead body of any man that is dead, and does not purify himself, defiles the tent of Yahweh, and that soul shall be cut off from Israel, because a mime of separation was not sprinkled upon him. He shall be unclean. His uncleanness is still upon him. This is the Torah when a man dies in a tent. All that come into the tent, and all that is in the tent, shall be unclean 7 days. And every open vessel which has no covering bound upon it is unclean. And whosoever touches one that is slain with a sword in the open fields, or a dead body, or a bone of a man, or a grave, shall be unclean 7 days. And for an unclean person they shall take of the ashes of the burnt heifer of purification for transgression, and running mime shall be put into a vessel. And a clean person shall take hyssop, and dip it in the mime, and sprinkle it upon the tent, and upon all the vessels, and upon the persons that were there, and upon him that touched a bone, or one slain, or one dead, or a grave. And the clean person shall sprinkle upon the unclean on the third day, and on the seventh day, and on the seventh day he shall purify himself, and wash his clothes, and bathe himself in mime, and shall be clean at evening. But the man that shall be unclean, and shall not purify himself, that soul shall be cut off from among the congregation, because he has defiled the sanctuary of Yahweh. The mime of separation has not been sprinkled upon him, he is unclean. And it shall be an everlasting statute to them, that he that sprinkles the mime of separation shall wash his clothes, and he that touches the mime of separation shall be unclean until even. And whatsoever the unclean person touches shall be unclean, and the soul that touches it shall be unclean until evening. Please note that many Christians that hold to Yeshua of Nazareth, the Rabbi, as a heifer, however the heifer was a female, not a male. Also, anybody that went into a graveyard, irrespective, would be unclean for 7 days. So in order to go into the sanctuary, into the temple, they would need these heifers' ashes. Hence why today, presently, since we don't have the temple, when the temple will be rebuilt, the heifer sacrifice will be reinstituted, without which we won't be able to enter the sanctuary. End note. Chapter 20. Then came the children of Israel, even the whole congregation, into the wilderness of Zin in the first month, and the people abode in Kadesh, and Miriam died there, and was buried there. And there was no mime for the congregation, and they gathered themselves together against Musa and against Aaron. And the people contended with Musa, and spoke, saying, If only would Elohim had killed us too, when our brethren died before Yahweh. And why have you brought us up, the congregation of Yahweh, into this wilderness, that we and our cattle should die there instead? And why have you made us to come up out of Mitzrayim, to bring us into this evil place? It is not a place of seed, or of figs, or of wines, or of pomegranates, neither is there any mime to drink. And Musa and Aaron went from the presence of the assembly to the door of the tent of the appointed times, and they fell upon their faces, and the esteem of Yahweh appeared to them. And Yahweh spoke to Musa, saying, Take the rod, and you gather the assembly together, you and Aaron, your brother, and declare my word upon the rock before their eyes. And you shall give forth mime, you shall bring forth to them mime out of the rock, so you shall give the congregation and their beasts drink. And Musa took the rod from before Yahweh, as he commanded him. And Musa and Aaron gathered the congregation together before the rock. And he said to them, Hear now, you rebels, should we now bring you mime out of this rock? And Musa lifted up his hand, and with his rod he struck the rock twice, and the mime came out abundantly, and the congregation drank, and their beasts also. And Yahweh spoke to Musa and Aaron, Because you believed me not, to set me apart in the eyes of the children of Israel, therefore you shall not bring the congregation into the land which I have given them. This is a mime of Meribah, because the children of Israel contended with Yahweh, and he was sanctified in them. And Musa sent messengers from Kadesh to the sovereign of Edom. Thus says your brother Israel, you know all the travail that is befallen us, how our Avot went down into Mitzrayim, and we have dwelt in Mitzrayim a long time, and the Mitzrayim vexed us, and our Avot. And when we cried to Yahweh, he heard our voice, and sent his Malach, and has brought us forth out of Mitzrayim. And behold, we are in Kadesh, a city in the edge of your borders. Let us pass, I petition you, through your country. We will not pass through the fields, or through the vineyards, neither will we drink of the mime of the wells. We will go by the sovereign's highway. We will not turn to the right hand, nor to the left, until we have passed your borders. And Edom said to him, You shall not pass by me, lest I come out against you with the sword. And the children of Israel said to him, We will go by the highway, and if I or my livestock drink any of your mime, then I will pay for it. Let me only pass through on foot and nothing else. And he said, You shall not go through. And Edom came out against him with much people and with a strong hand. Thus Edom refused to give Israel passage through his border, wherefore Israel turned away from him. And the children of Israel, even the whole congregation, journeyed from Kadesh and came to Mount Hor. And Yahweh spoke to Musa and Aaron in Mount Hor by the coast of the land of Edom, saying, Aaron shall be gathered to his people, for he shall not enter into the land which I have given to the children of Israel, because you rebelled against my word at the mime of Meribah. Take Aaron and Eleazar his son, and bring them up to Mount Hor, and remove Aaron's clothes, and put them upon Eleazar his son, and Aaron shall be gathered to his people, and he shall die there. And Musa did as Yahweh commanded, and they went up into Mount Hor in the sight of all the congregation. And Musa took Aaron's clothes off, and put them upon Eleazar his son, and Aaron died there in the top of the mount, and Musa and Eleazar came down from the mount. And when all the congregation saw that Aaron was dead, they mourned for Aaron 30 days, even all the Beit of Israel. Chapter 21. And when sovereign Arad the Canaanite, who dwelt in the south, heard that Israel came by the way of the spies, then he fought against Israel, and took some of them prisoners. And Israel vowed a vow to Yahweh, and said, If you will indeed give this people into my hand, then I will utterly destroy their cities. And Yahweh listened to the voice of Israel, and gave up the Canaanite, and they utterly destroyed them and their cities. And he called the name of the place Hormah. And they journeyed from Mount Hor by the way of the Sea of Reeds, to compass the land of Edom. And the souls of the people became impatient because of the journey. And the people contended against Elohim and against Musa. Why have you brought us up out of Mitzrayim to die in the wilderness? For there is no lachem, neither is there any mine, and our soul hates this worthless food. And Yahweh sent poisonous snakes among the people, and they bit the people, and many people of Israel died. Therefore the people came to Musa and said, We have transgressed, for we have contended against Yahweh and against you. Petition to Yahweh, that he may take away the serpents from us. And Musa petitioned for the people. And Yahweh said to Musa, You make a bronze snake, and set it upon a pole, and it shall come to pass that everyone that is bitten, when he looks upon it, shall have life. And Musa made a serpent of brass, and put it upon a pole, and it came to pass that if the serpent had bitten any man, when he looked upon the serpent of bronze, he lived. And the children of Israel set forward and pitched in Avoth, and they journeyed from Avoth and pitched at Le-Habrim, in the wilderness, which is before Moab, toward the sun rising. From there they moved and pitched in the valley of Zared. From there they moved again and pitched on the other side of Arnon, which is in the wilderness, that comes out of the coast of the Amori, For Arnon is the border of Moab, between Moab and the Amoree. Wherefore it is said in the scrolls of the wars of Yahweh, what he did in the Wahib, at Suphah, the Wadi of Arnon, and at the stream of the brooks that goes down to the dwelling of Ar, and lies upon the border of Moab. And from there they went to Beer, that is a well whereof Yahweh spoke to Musa. Gather the people together, and I will give them Maim. Then Israel sang the song, Spring up, O well, we sing to it. The princes dug the well, the nobles of the people digged it, by the direction of the Torah giver, with their staves. And from the wilderness they went to Mattanah, and from Mattanah to Nahaliel, and from Nahaliel to Banoth, and from Banoth in the valley, that is in the country of Moab, to the top of Pisgah, which looks towards Yeshimon. And Israel sent messengers to Sihon, sovereign of the Amoree, saying, Let me pass through your land, and we will not turn into the fields or into the vineyards. We will not drink of the Maim of the well, but we will go along by the sovereign's highway until we be past your borders. And Sihon would not allow Israel to pass through his borders. But Sihon gathered all his people together, and went out against Israel into the wilderness, and he came to Yatzah, and fought against Israel. And Israel killed him with the edge of the sword, and captured his land from Arnon to Yavuk, even to the children of Ammon, for the border of children of Ammon was strong. And Israel took all these cities, and Israel dwelt in all the cities of the Amoree, in Heshbon, in all the villages thereafter. For Heshbon was a city of Sihon, the sovereign of the Amoree, who had fought against the former sovereign of Moab, and taken all his land out of his hand, even to Arnon. Wherefore they that speak in Proverbs say, Come into Heshbon, let the city of Sihon be built and prepared. For there is a fire gone out of Heshbon, a flame for the city of Sihon. It has consumed Ar of Moab, and the masters of the high places of Arnon. Woe to you, Moab, you are undone, O people of Chemosh. He has given his sons that escaped, and his daughters into captivity to Sihon, sovereign of the Amoree. We have shot at them, Heshbon is perished, even to Dibon, and we have laid them waste, even to Nophah, which reaches to Medeba. Thus Israel dwelt in the land of the Amoree. And Musa sent to spy out Jazer, and they took all the villages there, and drove out the Amoree that were there. And they turned and went up by the way of Bashan, and Og, the sovereign of Bashan, went out against them, him and all his people, to the battle at Idriah. And Yahweh said to Musa, Fear him not, for I have given him into your hand, and all his people, and his land. And you shall do to him as you did to Sihon, sovereign of the Amoree, which dwelt at Heshbon. So they killed him and his sons, and all his people, until there was none left alive, and they possessed his land. Chapter 22. And the children of Israel set forward, and pitched in the plains of Moab, on this side of Jordan, by Jericho. And Balak, the son of Zippor, saw all that Israel had done to the Amoree. And Moab was sore afraid of the people, because there were many, and Moab was distressed, because of the children of Israel. And Moab said to the elders of Midian, Now shall this company eat up all that are round about us, as the ox eats up the grass of the field. And Balak, the son of Zippor, was sovereign of the Moabi at that time. He sent messengers therefore to Balaam, the son of Beor, to Pethor, which is by the Pharat river in the land Emma, to call him, saying, Behold, there is a people come out from Mitzrayim. Behold, they cover the face of the earth, and they abide over against me. Come now, therefore, I petition you, curse me this people, for they are too mighty for me. Perhaps I will prevail, that we may slay them, that I may drive them out of the land. For I know that him whom you increase is increased, and he whom you curse is cursed. And the elders of Moab and the elders of Midian departed with the fee of divination in their hand. And they came to Balaam, and spoke to him the words of Balak. And he said to them, Lodge here this night, and I will bring you word again, as Yahweh shall speak to me. And the princes of Moab abode with Balaam. And Elohim came to Balaam, and said, What men are those with you? And Balaam said to Elohim, Balak the son of Zippor, sovereign of Moab, has sent to me, saying, Behold, there is a people come out of Mitzrayim, which covers the face of the land. Come now, curse me them, perhaps I shall be able to conquer them, and drive them out. And Elohim said to Balaam, You shall not go with them. You shall not curse the people, for they are increased. And Balaam rose up in the morning, and said to the princes of Balak, Go back into your land, for Yahweh refused to give me permission to go with you. And the princes of Moab rose up, and they went to Balak, and said, Balaam refused to come up with us. And Balak sent yet again princes more and more honorable than they. And they came to Balaam, and said to him, Thus says Balak the son of Zippor, Let nothing, I petition you, hinder you from coming to me. For I will promote you to very great respect, and I will do whatsoever you say to me. Come therefore, I petition you, curse me this people. And Balaam answered and said to the servants of Balak, If Balak would give me his baith full of silver and gold, I cannot go beyond the word of Yahweh my power to do less or more. Now therefore I petition you, stay here also this night, that I may know what Yahweh will say to me more. And the word from Elohim came to Balaam at night, and said to him, If the men come to call you, rise up and go with them. But yet the word which I shall say to you, that shall you do. And Balaam rose up in the morning, and saddled his ass, and went with the princes of Moab. And Elohim's anger was kindled, because he went, and the Malach Yahweh stood in the way for an adversary against him. Now he was riding upon his ass, and his 2 servants were with him. And the ass saw the Malach Yahweh standing in the way, and his sword drawn in his hand. And the ass turned aside out of the way, and went into the field. And Balaam beat the ass to turn her into the way. But the Malach Yahweh stood in the path of the vineyards, a wall being on this side, and a wall on that side. And when the ass saw the Malach Yahweh, she thrust herself to the wall, and crushed Balaam's foot against the wall, and he beat her again. And Malach Yahweh went further, and stood in a narrow place, where was no way to turn either to the right hand or to the left. And when the ass saw the Malach Yahweh, she fell down under Balaam, and Balaam's anger was kindled, and he beat the ass with his staff. And Yahweh opened the mouth of the ass, and she said to Balaam, What have I done to you, that you have beaten me these 3 times? And Balaam said to the ass, Because you have mocked me. I wish, if there was a sword in my hand, for I would kill you now. And the ass said to Balaam, Am not I your ass, upon which you have been riding ever since I was yours to this day? Have I ever refused to do what you asked? And he said, No. Then Yahweh opened the eyes of Balaam, and he saw the Malach Yahweh standing in the way, and his sword drawn in his hand. And he bowed down his head, and fell flat on his face. And the Malach Yahweh said to him, Why have you beaten your ass these 3 times? Behold, I went out to withstand you, because your way is perverse before me. And the ass saw me, and turned from me these 3 times. Unless she had turned from me, surely now also I would have killed you, and rescued her alive. And Balaam said to the Malach Yahweh, I have transgressed, for I knew not that you stood in the way against me. Now therefore, if it displeases you, I will go back. And the Malach Yahweh said to Balaam, Go with the men, but only the word that I shall speak to you, which you shall speak. So Balaam went with the princes of Balak. And when Balak heard that Balaam was come, he went out to meet him to a city of Moab, which is in the border of Arnon, which is in the utmost coast. And Balak said to Balaam, Did I not sincerely send to you to call you? Why would you not come on to me? Am I not able indeed to promote you to respect? And Balaam said to Balak, Behold, I have come to you. Have I now any power at all to say anything? The word that Elohim puts in my mouth, that shall I speak. And Balaam went with Balak, and they came to Kiriath Huzoth. And Balak offered oxen and sheep, and sent to Balaam and to the princes that were with him. And it came to pass on the next day that Balak took Balaam and brought him up into the high places of Baal, that there he might see the utmost parts of the people. Chapter 23. And Balaam said to Balak, Build me here 7 altars, and prepare me here 7 oxen, and 7 rams. And Balak did as Balaam had spoken. And Balak and Balaam offered on every altar a bullock and a ram. And Balaam said to Balak, Stand by your burnt offering, and I will go. Pre-adventure, Yahweh will come to meet me, and whatsoever he shows me, I will tell you. And he went to a deserted height. And Elohim met Balaam, and he said to him, I have prepared 7 altars, and I have offered upon every altar a bullock and a ram. And Yahweh put a word in Balaam's mouth, and said, Return to Balak, and thus you shall speak. And he returned to him, and behold, he stood by his burnt sacrifice, he and all the princes of Moab. And he took up his parable, and said, Balak, the sovereign of Moab, has brought me from Aram, out of the mountains of the east, saying, Come, curse me Yaakov, and come, defy Israel. How shall I curse whom El has not cursed? Or how shall I denounce whom Yahweh has not denounced? For from the top of the rocks I see him, and from the hills I behold him. Behold, the people shall dwell alone, and shall not be reckoned among the nations. Who can count the dust of Yaakov, and the number of the 4th part of Israel? Let me die the death of the right ruling, and let my last end be like his. And Balak said to Balaam, What have you done to me? I took you to curse my enemies, and behold, you have increased them altogether. And he answered and said, Must I take heed not to speak that which Yahweh has put in my mouth? And Balak said to him, Come, I petition you, with me to another place, from where you may see them. You shall see but a small part of them, and shall not see them all, and curse me them from there. And he brought him into the field of Zophim, to the top of Pisgah, and built 7 altars, and offered a bullock and a ram on every altar. And he said to Balak, Stand here by your burnt offering, while I meet Yahweh there. And Yahweh met Balaam, and put a word in his mouth, and said, Go again to Balak, and say this. And when he came to him, behold, he stood by his burnt offering, and the princes of Moab with him. And Balak said to him, What has Yahweh spoken? And he took up his parable, and said, Rise up, Balak, and hear. Hearken to me, you son of Zippor. El, the power, is not a man that he should lie, neither the son of man that he should repent. Has he said, and shall he not do it? Or has he spoken, and shall he not make it good? Behold, I have received orders to increase, and he has increased them, and I cannot reverse it. He has not beheld iniquity in Yaakov, neither has he seen perverseness in Israel. Yahweh his Elohim is with him, and the shout of a sovereign is among them. El, the power, brought them out of Mitzrayim. He has, as it were, the strength of a wild bull. Surely there is no enchantment against Yaakov, neither is there any divination against Israel. According to this time, it shall be said of Yaakov and of Israel, what has El wrote. Behold, the people shall rise up as a great lion, and soar as an eagle. He shall not lie down until he eat of the prey, and drink the blood of the slain. And Balak said to Balaam, Neither curse them at all, nor increase them at all. And Balaam answered and said to Balak, I told you before, saying, All that Yahweh speaks to me, that I must do. And Balak said to Balaam, Come, I petition you, I will bring you to another place. Perhaps it will please Elohim that you may curse me them from there. And Balak brought Balaam to the top of Peor that looks towards Yeshimon. And Balaam said to Balak, Build me here 7 altars, and prepare me here 7 bullocks and 7 lambs. And Balak did as Balaam had said, and offered a bullock and a ram on every altar. Chapter 24. And when Balaam saw that it pleased Yahweh to increase Israel, he went not, as at other times, to seek to do sorcery, but he set his face towards the wilderness. And Balaam lifted up his eyes, and he saw Israel encamped tribe by tribe, and the Ruach of Elohim came upon him. And he took up his parable and said, Balaam, the son of Beor, hath said, and the man whose eyes are open has said, he has said, which heard the words of El, the power, which saw the vision of the El Shaddai, falling into a trance, but having his eyes open. How goodly are your tents, O Yaakov, and your tabernacles, O Israel! As the valleys are they spread forth, as gardens by the riverside, as the trees of aloes which Yahweh has planted, and as cedar trees beside the Maim. He shall pour the Maim out of his buckets, and his seed shall be many Maim, and his sovereign shall be exalted over Agag, and his kingdom shall be exalted. It is El, who brought him forth out of Mitzrayim. He has it with the strength of a young bull. He shall eat up the nations, his enemies, and shall break their bones, and pierce them through with his arrows. He couched, he swooped down as an attacking eagle, and as a great lion who shall stir him up. Those who increase you will be increased, and those who curse you will be cursed. And Balak's anger was kindled against Balaam, and he beat his hands together. And Balak said to Balaam, I called you to curse my enemies, and instead you have increased them these 3 times. Therefore, now flee from here to your place. I thought to promote you to great respect, but behold, Yahweh has kept you back from respect. And Balaam said to Balak, Did I not speak to your messengers and said this? If Balak would give me his baith full of silver and gold, I cannot go beyond the commandment of Yahweh to do either good or bad of my own mind. But whatever Yahweh says, that will I speak. And now behold, I go to my people. Come therefore, and I will advertise you what this people shall do to your people in the latter days. And he took up his parable and said, Balaam, the son of Beor, has said, and the man whose eyes are open has said, he has said, which heard the words of El, and knew the knowledge of the Most High, which saw the vision of the Almighty, who falls down, but having eyes wide open. I shall see him, but not now. I shall behold him, but not near. There shall come a star out of Yaakov, and a scepter shall rise out of Israel, and shall smite the corners of Moab, and destroy all the children of Sheth. And Edom shall be a possession. Seir also shall be a possession for his enemies, and Israel shall do valiantly. Out of Yaakov shall come he that shall have dominion, and shall destroy him that remained of the city. And when he looked on Amalek, he took up his parable and said, Amalek was the first of the nations, but his latter end shall be that he perishes forever. And he looked on the Keni, and took up his parable, and said, Strong is your dwelling place, and you put your nest in a rock. Nevertheless, the Keni shall be wasted, until Ashur shall carry you away captive. And he took up his parable and said, Alas, who shall live when El does this? And ships shall come from the coast of Kittim, and shall afflict Ashur, and shall afflict Ewer, and he also shall perish forever. And Balaam rose up and went, and returned to his place, and Balak also went his way. Chapter 25. And Israel abode in Shittim, and the people began to commit whoredom with the daughters of Moab, and they called the people to the sacrifices of their powers, and the people did eat, and bowed down to other powers. And Israel joined himself to Baal-peor, and the anger of Yahweh was kindled against Israel. And Yahweh said to Musa, Take all the heads of the people, and hang them up before Yahweh against the sun, that the fierce anger of Yahweh may be turned away from Israel. And Musa said to the judges of Israel, Execute everyone, the men that were joined to Baal-peor. And behold, one of the children of Israel came, and brought to his brethren a Midiani woman in the sight of Musa, in the sight of all the congregation of the children of Israel, who were weeping before the door of the tent of the appointed times. And when Phinehas, the son of Eleazar, the son of Aaron, the Kohen, saw it, he rose up from among the congregation, and took a javelin in his hand, and he went after the man of Israel into the alcove, and thrust both of them through, the man of Israel and the woman through her belly. So the plague was stayed from the children of Israel. And those that died in the plague were 24,000. And Yahweh spoke to Musa, saying, Phinehas, the son of Eleazar, the son of Aaron, the Kohen, has turned my wrath away from the children of Israel, while he manifested much zeal for my sake among them, that I consumed not the children of Israel in my jealousy. Wherefore say, Behold, I give to him my covenant of shalom, and he shall have it, and his descendants after him, even the covenant of an everlasting priesthood, because he manifested zeal for his Elohim, and made an atonement for the children of Israel. Now the name of the Israeli that was slain, even that was slain with the Midiani woman, was Zimri, the son of Salu, a prince of a chief, Baith among the Shimoni. And the name of the Midiani woman that was slain was Cosbi, the daughter of Zur. He was head over a people, and of a chief Baith in Midian. And Yahweh spoke to Musa, saying, Bring trouble to the Midianites, and smite them. For they troubled you with their wiles, where they were beguiled you in the matter of Peor, and in the matter of Cosbi, the daughter of a prince of Midian, their sister, which was slain in the day of the plague for Peor's sake. Chapter 26. And it came to pass after the plague that Yahweh spoke to Musa and to Eleazar the son of Aaron, the Kohen, saying, Take the sum of all the congregation of the children of Israel, from 20 years old and upward, throughout their avots, all that are able to go to war in Israel. And Musa and Eleazar the Kohen spoke with them in the plains of Moab by Yaddan, near Jericho, saying, Take the sum of the people from 20 years old and upward, as Yahweh commanded Musa and the children of Israel, which went forth out of the land of Mitzrayim. Reuben, the elder son of Israel, the children of Reuben, Kanuch, of whom comes a mishpachah of the Chanochi, of Pallu, the mishpachah of the Palui, of Chetzron, the mishpachah of the Chetzroni, of Carmi, the mishpachah of the Carmi. These are the mishpachot of Rubani, and they that were registered of them were 43,730. And the sons of Pallu, Eliab, and the sons of Eliab, Nemuel, and Dathan, and Abiram. This is that Dathan and Abiram, which were famous in the congregation, who contended against Musa and against Aaron in the company of Korah, when they contended against Yahweh. And the earth opened her mouth, and swallowed them up together with Korah, when that company died. What time the fire devoured 250 men, and they became a sign. The descendants of Korah did not die. The sons of Shimon, after the mishpachot of Nemuel, the mishpachah of the Nemuli of Yamin, the mishpachah of the Yaminites of Yakan, the mishpachah of the Yechini, of Zerach, the mishpachah of the Zarhi of Shaul, the mishpachah of the Shauli. These are the mishpachot of the Shimoni, 22,200. The children of Gad, after the mishpachot of Zephon, the mishpachah of the Zephoni, of Hagi, the mishpachah of the Hagi, of Shuni, the mishpachah of the Shuni, of Ozni, the mishpachah of the Ozni, of Eri, the mishpachah of the Eri, of Arod, the mishpachah of the Arodi, of Areli, the mishpachah of the Areli. These are the mishpachot of the children of God, according to those that were registered of them, 40,500. The sons of Yehudah were and Onan, and and Onan died in the land of Canaan. And the sons of Yehudah, after their mishpachot, were of Shelah, the mishpachah of the Shelni, of Faratz, the mishpachah of the Faratzi, of Zerach, the mishpachah of the Zarchi. And the sons of Faratz were of Hetzron, the mishpachah of the Hetzroni, of Hamul, the mishpachah of the Hamuli. These are the mishpachot of Yehudah, according to those that were registered of them, 76,500. Of the sons of Yisachar, after their mishpachot of Tola, the mishpachah of the Toleah, of Puva, the mishpachah of the Puni, of Yashuv, the mishpachah of the Yeshuvi, of Shimron, the mishpachah of the Shimroni. These are the mishpachot of Yisachar, according to those that were registered of them, 64,300. Of the sons of Zebulun, after their mishpachot, of Sered, the mishpachah of the Sardi, of Elon, the mishpachah of the Eloni, of Yachalel, the mishpachah of the Yachalel Eli. These are the mishpachot of the Zebuluni, according to those that were registered of them, 60,500. The sons of Joseph, after their mishpachot, were Manasseh and Ephraim. Of the sons of Manasseh, of Machir, the mishpachah of the Machiri, and Machir begat Gilad. Of Gilad come the mishpachah of the Gilad. These are the sons of Gilad, of Yezer, the mishpachah of the Yezeri, of Chalak, the mishpachah of the Chalaki, and of Asriel, the mishpachah of the Asrieli, and of Shechem, the mishpachah of the Shechemi, and of Shemida, the mishpachah of the Shemidai, and of Heifer, the mishpachah of the Heferi. And Slophachad, the son of Heifer, had no sons, but daughters, and the names of the daughters of Slophachad were Machlah and Noah, Hoglah, Milcah, and Tirzah. These are the mishpachot of Manasseh, and those that were registered of them, 52,700. These are the sons of Ephraim, after the mishpachot, of Shutilach, the mishpachah of the Shutilachi, of Bakr, the mishpachah of the Bakri, of Tachan, the mishpachah of the Tachani. And these are the sons of Shutilach, of Iran, the mishpachah of the Irani. These are the mishpachot of the sons of Ephraim, according to those that were registered of them, 32,500. These are the sons of Joseph, after the mishpachot. The sons of Benjamin, after the mishpachot, of Bela, the mishpachah of the Baalites, of Ashvel, the mishpachah of the Ashvelites, of Achiram, the mishpachah of the Achirami, of Shufam, the mishpachah of the Shufamites, of Hupam, the mishpachah of the Hupami. And the sons of Bela were Ard and Naaman. Of Ard, the mishpachah of the Ardi, and of Naaman, the mishpachah of the Naami. These are the sons of Benjamin, after their mishpachot, and they that were registered of them were 45,600. These are the sons of Dan, after their mishpachot, of Shukam, the mishpachah of the Shukami. These are the mishpachot of Dan, after their mishpachot. All the mishpachot of the Shukami, according to those that were registered of them, were 64,400. Of the children of Asher, after their mishpachot, of Yimna, the mishpachah of the Yimni, of Yesui, the mishpachah of the Yesui, of Beriah, the mishpachah of the Beri, of the sons of Beriah, of Haver, the mishpachah of the Havri, of Machiel, the mishpachah of the Machili. And the name of the daughter of Asher was Sarah. These are the mishpachot of the sons of Asher, according to those that were registered of them, who were 53,400. Of the sons of Naphtali, after the mishpachot of Yahzeel, the mishpachah of the Yachatzali of Guni, the mishpachah of the Guni, of Yetzer, the mishpachah of the Yetzeri, of Shilem, the mishpachah of the Shilemi. These are the mishpachot of Naphtali, according to their mishpachot, and they that were registered of them were 45,400. These were the registered of the children of Israel, 600,000 and 1,730. And Yahweh spoke to Musa, saying, To these the land shall be divided for an inheritance, according to the number of names. To many you shall give the more inheritance, and to few you shall give the less inheritance. To every one shall his inheritance be given, according to those that were registered of him. Notwithstanding the land shall be divided by lot, according to the names of the tribes of their avot, they shall inherit. According to the lot shall the possession they be divided between many and few. And these are they that were registered of the Levim after the mishpachot of Gershon, the mishpachah of the Gershoni, of Kahath, the mishpachah of the Kohati, of Merari, the mishpachah of the Merarites. These are the mishpachot of the Levim, the mishpachah of the Livni, the mishpachah of the Hebroni, the mishpachah of the Machli, the mishpachah of the Mushi, the mishpachah of the Korati, and Kohath begat Imram. And the name of Amram's wife was Yahovad, the daughter of Levi, whom her mother bare to Levi in Mitzrayim. And she bare to Amram Aaron and Musa and Miriam their sister. And to Aaron was born Nadav and Avihu, Eleazar and Ithamar. And Nadav and Avihu died when they offered profaned fire before Yahweh. And those that were registered of them were 23,000, all males from a month old and upward, for they were not registered among the children of Israel, because there was no inheritance given them among the children of Israel. These are they that were registered by Musa, and Eleazar the Kohen, who registered the children of Israel in the plains of Moab by Yarden near Jericho. But among these there was not a man of them whom Musa and Aaron the Kohen registered when they registered the children of Israel in the wilderness of Sinai. For Yahweh had said of them, They shall surely die in the wilderness, and there was not left a man of them. Rescue Caleb, the son of Yephuniah, and Yehoshua, the son of Nun. Chapter 27. Then came the daughters of Zelophehad, the son of Heifer, the son of Gilad, the son of Machir, the son of Manasseh, of the Mishpachot of Manasseh, the son of Joseph. And these are the names of his daughters, Machlah, Noach, and Hoglah, and Milcah, and Tirzah. And they stood before Musa, and before Eleazar the Kohen, and before the princes, and all the congregation by the door of the tent of the appointed time, saying, Our father died in the wilderness, and he was not in the company of them that gathered themselves together against Yahweh in the company of Korah, but died in his own transgression, and had no sons. Why should the name of our father be done away from among his mishpachah, because he has no son? Give to us therefore a possession among the brethren of our father. And Musa brought their cause before Yahweh, and Yahweh spoke to Musa, saying, The daughters of Zelophehad speak right. You shall surely give them a possession of an inheritance among their father's brethren, and you shall cause the inheritance of their fathers to pass to them. And you shall speak to the children of Israel, saying, If a man die and have no son, then you shall cause his inheritance to pass to his daughter. And if he has no daughter, then you shall give his inheritance to his brethren. And if he has no brethren, then you shall give his inheritance to his father's brethren. And if his father have no brethren, then you shall give his inheritance to his kinsman, that is next to him of his mishpachah, and he shall possess it, and it shall be to the children of Israel a statute of judgment, as Yahweh commanded Musa. And Yahweh said to Musa, Go up into this Mount Abarim, and see the land which I have given to the children of Israel. And when ye have seen it, you also shall be gathered to your people, as Aaron your brother was gathered. For you rebelled against my commandment in the wilderness of Zin, in the strife of the congregation, to sanctify me at the Maim before their eyes. That is the Maim of Meribah in Kadesh, in the wilderness of Zin. And Musa spoke to Yahweh, saying, Let Yahweh, the Elohim of the Ruachoth of all flesh, set a man over the congregation, which may go out before them, and which may go in before them, and which may lead them out, and which may bring them in, that the congregation of Yahweh be not as sheep which have no shepherd. And Yahweh said to Musa, Take Yehoshua the son of Nun, a man in whom is a Ruach, and lay your hand upon him, and set him before Eleazar the Kohen, and before all the congregation, and give him a charge in their sight. And you shall delegate some of your authority upon him, that all the congregation of the children of Israel may be obedient. And he shall stand before Eleazar the Kohen, who shall ask counsel for him after the judgment of Urim before Yahweh. At his word shall they go out, and at his word they shall come in, both he and all the children of Israel with him, even all the congregation. And Musa did as Yahweh commanded him, and he took Yehoshua and set him before Eleazar the Kohen, and before all the congregation. And he laid his hands upon him, and gave him a charge, as Yahweh commanded by the hand of Musa. Please note that the daughters of Zelophehad are the same daughters of the man that was gathering sticks on the Shabbat, and he was killed for violating the Shabbat. End note. Chapter 28. And Yahweh spoke to Musa, saying, Command the children of Israel, and say to them, My offering and my lachem for my sacrifices made by fire, for a sweet savour to me, shall you guard to offer to me in their due season. And you shall say to them, This is the offering made by fire, which you shall offer to Yahweh, 2 lambs of the first year without spot, day to day, for a continual burnt offering. The 1 lamb shall ye offer in the morning, and the other lamb shall ye offer in the evening, and a 10th part of an ephah of flour for a grain offering, mingled with the 4th part of a hin of beaten oil. It is a continual burnt offering, which was appointed in Mount Sinai for a sweet savour, a sacrifice made by fire to Yahweh. And the drink offering there shall be the 4th part of a hin for the 1 lamb. In the set-apart place shall you cause the strong wine to be poured to Yahweh for a drink offering. And the other lamb shall ye offer at evening as a grain offering of the morning, and as the drink offering there you shall offer it, a sacrifice made by fire of a sweet savour to Yahweh. And on the Sabbath day 2 lambs of the first year without spot, and 2/10 deals of flour for a grain offering mingled with oil, and the drink offering there. This is a burnt offering of every Sabbath, beside the continual burnt offering and his drink offering. And in the beginnings of your months you shall offer a burnt offering to Yahweh, 2 young bullocks, and 1 ram, 7 lambs of the first year without spot, and 3/10 deals of flour for a grain offering mingled with oil for 1 bullock, and 2/10 deals of flour for a grain offering mingled with oil for 1 ram, and a several tenth deal of flour mingled with oil for a grain offering to 1 lamb for a burnt offering of a sweet savour, a sacrifice made by fire to Yahweh. And their drink offerings shall be half a hin of wine to a bullock, and a 3rd part of a hin to a ram, and a 4th part of a hin to a lamb. This is a burnt offering of every month throughout the months of the year. And 1 kid of the goats for a transgression offering to Yahweh shall be offered, beside the continual burnt offering and his drink offering. And in the 14th day of the 1st month is a Passover of Yahweh. And in the 15th day of this month is the Chag, the appointed celebration time. 7 days shall matzah, unleavened bread, be eaten. In the 1st day shall be a Mikra Kodesh, You shall do no manner of servile work therein. But you shall offer a sacrifice made by fire for a burnt offering to Yahweh, 2 young bullocks, and 1 ram, and 7 lambs of the first year. They shall be to you without blemish. And their grain offering shall be of flour mingled with oil. 3 tenth deals shall ye offer for a bullock, and 2 tenth deals for a ram. A several tenth deal shall ye offer for every lamb throughout the 7 lambs, and 1 goat for a transgression offering to make atonement for you. You shall offer these beside the burnt offering in the morning, which is for a continual burnt offering. After this manner you shall offer daily throughout the 7 days the food of the sacrifice made by fire of a sweet savour to Yahweh. It shall be offered beside the continual burnt offering and his drink offering. And on the 7th day you should have a Mikra Kodesh. You shall do no servile work. Also in the day of the Bikurim, first fruit, when you bring a new grain offering to Yahweh, after your Shavuot, Pentecost, you shall have a Mikra Kodesh. You shall do no servile work. But you shall offer the burnt offering for a sweet savour to Yahweh, 2 young bullocks, 1 ram, 7 lambs of the first year, and their grain offering of flour mingled with oil, 3 tenth deals to 1 bullock, 2 tenth deals to 1 ram, a several tenth deal to 1 lamb throughout the 7 lambs, and 1 kid of the goats to make atonement for you. You shall offer them beside the continual burnt offering and his grain offering. They shall be to you without blemish, and their drink offerings. Chapter 29. And in the 7th month, on the 1st day of the month, you shall have a Mikra Kodesh. You shall do no servile work. It is a day of blowing the shofarim to you. And you shall offer a burnt offering for a sweet savour to Yahweh, 1 young bullock, 1 ram, and 7 lambs of the first year without blemish. And their grain offering shall be of flour mingled with oil, 3 tenth deals for a bullock, and 2 tenth deals for a ram, and 1 tenth deal for 1 lamb throughout the 7 lambs, and 1 kid of the goats for a transgression offering to make atonement for you, beside the burnt offering of the month, and his grain offering, and the daily burnt offering, and his grain offering, and their drink offerings, according to their manner, for the sweet savour, a sacrifice made by fire to Yahweh. And you shall have on the 10th day of this 7th month a Mikra Kodesh. You shall afflict your souls. You shall not do any work therein. But you shall offer a burnt offering to Yahweh for a sweet savour, 1 young bullock, 1 ram, and 7 lambs of the first year. They shall be to you without blemish. And their grain offering shall be of flour mingled with oil, 3 tenth deals to a bullock, and 2 tenth deals to 1 ram, a several tenth deal for 1 lamb throughout the 7 lambs, 1 kid of the goats for a transgression offering, beside the transgression offering of atonement, and the continual burnt offering, and the grain offering of it, and their drink offerings. And on the 15th day of the 7th month, you shall have a Mikra Kodesh. You shall do no servile work, and you shall keep a Chag, the appointed celebration time, to Yahweh 7 days. And you shall offer a burnt offering, a sacrifice made by fire of a sweet savour to Yahweh, 13 young bullocks, 2 rams, and 14 lambs of the first year. They shall be without blemish. And their grain offering shall be of flour mingled with oil, 3 tenth deals to every bullock of the 13 bullocks, 2 tenth deals to each ram of the 2 rams, and a several tenth deal to each lamb of the 14 lambs, and 1 kid of the goats for a transgression offering, beside the continual burnt offering, his grain offering, and his drink offering. And on the 2nd day you shall offer 12 young bullocks, 2 rams, 14 lambs of the first year without spot, and their grain offering and their drink offerings for the bullocks, for the rams, and for the lambs shall be according to their number after the manner. And 1 kid of the goats for a transgression offering, beside the continual burnt offering, and the grain offering there, and their drink offerings. And on the 3rd day 11 bullocks, 2 rams, 14 lambs of the first year without blemish, and their grain offering, and their drink offerings, for the bullocks, for the rams, and for the lambs, shall be according to their number after the manner, and one goat for a transgression offering, beside the continual burnt offering, and his grain offering, and his drink offering. And on the 4th day 10 bullocks, 2 rams, and 14 lambs of the first year without blemish. Their grain offering and their drink offerings for the bullock, for the rams, and for the lambs shall be according to their number after the manner. And 1 kid of the goats for a transgression offering, beside the continual burnt offering, his grain offering, and his drink offering. And on the 5th day 9 bullocks, 2 rams, and 14 lambs of the first year without spot, and their grain offering and their drink offerings for the bullocks, for the rams, and for the lambs shall be according to their number after the manner. And 1 goat for a transgression offering, beside the continual burnt offering, and his grain offering, and his drink offering. And on the 6th day 8 bullocks, 2 rams, and 14 lambs of the first year without blemish, and their grain offering and their drink offerings for the bullocks, for the rams, and for the lambs shall be according to their number after the manner. And 1 goat for a transgression offering, beside the continual burnt offering, his grain offering, and his drink offering. And on the 7th day 7 bullocks, 2 rams, and 14 lambs of the first year without blemish, and their grain offering and their drink offerings for the bullocks, for the rams, and for the lambs shall be according to their number after the manner. And 1 goat for a transgression offering, beside the continual burnt offering, his grain offering, and his drink offering. On the 8th day you shall have a solemn assembly, you shall do no servile work therein. But you shall offer a burnt offering, a sacrifice made by fire, of a sweet savour to Yahweh, 1 bullock, 1 ram, 7 lambs of the first year without blemish, their grain offering, and their drink offerings, for the bullock, for the ram, and for the lambs, shall be according to their number after the manner. And 1 goat for a transgression offering, beside the continual burnt offering, and his grain offering, and his drink offering. These things you shall do to Yahweh in your appointed times, beside your vows, and your freewill offerings, for your burnt offerings, and for your grain offerings, and for your drink offerings, and for your shalom offerings. And Musa told the children of Israel, according to all that Yahweh commanded Musa. Chapter 30. And Musa spoke to the heads of the tribes concerning the children of Israel, saying, This is the thing which Yahweh has commanded. If a man vow a vow to Yahweh, or swear an oath to bind his soul with a bond, he shall not break his word. He shall do according to all that proceeds out of his mouth. A woman also vow a vow to Yahweh, and bind herself by a bond, being in her father's baith in her youth. And her father hears her vow and her bond, wherewith she has bound her soul, and her father shall hold his shalom at her, then all her vows shall stand, and every bond wherewith she has bound her soul shall stand. But if her father disallow her in the day that he hears not any of her vows or of her bonds, wherewith she has bound her soul shall stand, and Yahweh shall forgive her because her father disallowed her. And if she had at all a husband when she vowed or uttered anything out of her lips, wherewith she bound her soul, and her husband heard it, and held his shalom at her in the day that he heard it, then her vow shall stand, and her bonds wherewith she bound her soul shall stand. But if her husband disallowed her on the day that he heard it, then he shall make her vow which she vowed, and that which she uttered with her lips, wherewith she bound her soul, of none effect, and Yahweh shall forgive her. But every vow of a widow and of her that is divorced, wherewith they have bound their souls, shall stand against her. And if she vowed in her husband's baith, or bound her soul by a bond with an oath, and her husband heard it, and held his shalom at her, and disallowed her not, then all her vows shall stand, and every bond wherewith she bound her soul shall stand. But if her husband has utterly made them void on the day he heard them, then whatsoever proceeded out of her lips concerning her vows, or concerning the bond of her soul, shall not stand. her husband has made them void, and Yahweh shall forgive her. Every vow and every binding oath to afflict the soul, her husband may establish it, or her husband may make it void. But if her husband altogether hold his shalom at her from day to day, then he establishes all her vows, or all her bonds, which are upon her. He confirms them, because he held his shalom at her in the day that he heard them. But if he shall in any way make them void, after that he has heard them, then he shall bear her iniquity. These are the statutes which Yahweh commanded Musa, between a man and his wife, between the father and his daughter, being yet in her youth in her father's bait. It is very clear from these passages in vows that when a wife or a daughter in her father's house vows a vow, if the father hears it, he can annul them. If a husband hears, he can annul them. The same goes true for dreams. If a wife says, I had such and such a dream, if the husband annuls that dream will be void. If the husband confirms that dream will be confirmed. This confirms the ultimate authority of the household, and the head of the household to a married woman is her husband. If she is living with her father, then her father is the head of the household. And this authority cannot be subverted, cannot be subdued, or cannot be removed by any woman whatsoever. This only goes to prove that a husband must be respected by his wife, and authority given to him to run the household as he desires and as he directs to his wife or wives. Any woman that is rebellious, that tries to subvert the authority of the husband, shall duly be punished by the heavens in this life, and she will lose the world to come. Provided the husband is a right-ruling Torah man, compassionate, and one who is willing to lift up his wife and enhance her and build her. In spite of that, if the wife rebels and tries to remove the authority of her husband, the punishment will equally be severe. Chapter 31. And Yahweh spoke to Musa, saying, Avenge the children of Israel of the Midianites. Afterward shall you be gathered to your people. And Musa spoke to the people, saying, Arm some of yourselves to the war, and let them go against the Midianites, and avenge Yahweh of Midian. Of every tribe 1,000 throughout all the tribes of Israel shall you send to the war. So they were given out of the thousands of Israel 1,000 of every tribe, 12,000 armed for war. And Musa sent them to the war 1,000 of every tribe, them and Phinehas the son of Eleazar the Kohen, to the war, with the set-apart instruments and the shofarim to blow in his hand. And they warred against the Midianites, as Yahweh commanded Musa, and they slew all the males, and they slew the sovereigns of Midian, beside the rest of them that were slain, namely Evi, and Rakem, and Zur, and Hur, and Ribah, 5 sovereigns of Midian. Balaam also, the son of Beor, they slew with the sword. And the children of Israel took all the women of Midian captives, and their little ones, and took the spoil of all their cattle, and all their flocks, and all their goods. And they burnt all their cities wherein they dwelt, and all their goodly castles with fire. And they took all the spoil and all the prey, both of men and of beasts. And they brought the captives, and the prey and the spoil to Musa, and Eleazar the Kohen, and to the congregation of the children of Israel, to the camp of the plains of Moab, which are by Jordan near Jericho. And Musa and Eleazar the Kohen, and all the princes of the congregation, went forth to meet them outside the camp. And Musa was very angry, and the officers of the host, with the captives over thousands and captains over hundreds, which came from the battle. And Musa said to them, Have you rescued all the women alive? Behold, these caused the children of Israel, through the counsel of Balaam, to commit trespass against Yahweh in the matter of Peor. And there was a plague among the congregation of Yahweh. Now therefore kill every male among the little ones, and kill every woman that has known man by lying with him. But all the female children that have not known a man by lying with him, keep alive for yourselves. And you abide outside the camp 7 days. Whosoever has killed any person, And whosoever has touched any slain purifies both yourselves and your captives on the 3rd day and on the 7th day, and purify all your raiment, and all that is made of skins, and all work of goat's hair, and all things made of wood. And Eleazar the Kohen said to the men of war which went to the battle, This is the ordinance of the Torah which Yahweh commanded Musa. Only the gold and the silver, the brass, the iron, the tin, and the lead, everything that may abide the fire, you shall make it go through the fire, and it shall be clean. Nevertheless, it shall be purified with a mine of separation. And all that abides not the fire, you shall make to go through the mine. And you shall wash your clothes on the 7th day, and it shall be clean. And afterward you shall come into the camp. And Yahweh spoke to Musa, saying, Take the sum of the plunder that was captured both of man and of beast, you and Eleazar the Kohen, and the chief Avoth of the congregation, and divide the prey into 2 parts, between them that took the war upon them, who went out to battle, and between all the congregation. And levy a tribute to Yahweh of the men of war, which went out to battle, 1 soul of 500, both of the persons, and of the cattle, and of the asses, and of the sheep. Take it of their half, and give it to Eleazar the Kohen, for a heave offering to Yahweh. And of the children of Israel half, you shall take 1 portion of 50 of the persons, of the cattle, of the asses, and of the flocks, of all manner of beasts, and give them to the Levim, which keep the charge of the tent of Yahweh. And Musa and Eleazar the Kohen did as Yahweh commanded Musa. And the spoils of war, being the rest of the plunder which the men of war had caught, was 600,000 and 75,000 sheep, and 72,000 cattle, and 61,000 asses, and 32,000 persons in all of women that had not known man by lying with him. And the half which was a portion of them that went out to war was 337,500 sheep. And Yahweh's tribute of the sheep was 675, and the cattle were 36,000, of which Yahweh's tribute was 72. And the asses were 30,500, of which Yahweh's tribute was 61. And the persons were 16,000, of which Yahweh's tribute was 32 persons. And Musa gave the tribute which was Yahweh's contribution offering to Eleazar the Kohen, as Yahweh commanded Musa. And of the children of Israel's half which Musa divided from the men that warred, now that half that pertained to the congregation was 300,000, 37,500 sheep, and 36,000 cattle, and 30,500 asses, and 16,000 persons. Even of the children of Israel's half, Musa took 1 portion of 50, both of man and of beast, and gave them to the Levim, which kept the charge of the tent of Yahweh, as Yahweh commanded Musa. And the officers who were over thousands of the host, the captains of thousands, and captains of hundreds, came near to Musa. And they said to Musa, Your servants have taken the sum of the men of war, which are under our charge, and there lacks not 1 man of us. We have therefore brought an offering for Yahweh, and each man has received of jewels of gold, chains and bracelets, rings, earrings, and tablets, to make atonement for our souls before Yahweh. And Musa and Eleazar the Kohen took the gold of them, even all wrought jewels, and all the gold of the offering that they offered up to Yahweh, of the captains of thousands, and of the captains of hundreds, was 16,750 shekels. For the men of war had taken spoil, every man for himself. And Musa and Eleazar the Kohen took the gold of the captains of thousands and of hundreds, and brought it into the tent of the appointed times for a memorial for the children of Israel before Yahweh. Chapter 32. Now the children of Reuben and the children of Gad had a very great multitude of cattle. And when they saw the land of Yatzar and the land of Gilead, that behold, the place was a place for cattle. The children of Gad and the children of Reuben came and spoke to Musa and to Eleazar the Kohen, and to the princes of the congregation, saying, Ataroth and Divon and Yatzar and Nimrah and Heshbon and Ale and Shebam and Nebo and Beon, even the country which Yahweh smote before the congregation of Israel, is a land for cattle, and your servants have cattle. Wherefore, said they, If we have found favor in your sight, let this land be given to your servants for a possession, and bring us not over Jordan. And Musa said to the children of Gad and to the children of Reuben, Would your brethren go to war, and shall you sit here? And why do you discourage the heart of the children of Israel from going over into the land which Yahweh has given them? Thus did Jehoshaphat when I sent them from Kadesh Barnea to see the land. For when they went up to the valley of Eshcol and saw the land, they discouraged the heart of the children of Israel, that they should not go into the land which Yahweh had given them. And Yahweh's anger was kindled the same time, and he swore, saying, Surely none of the men that came up out of the Mitzrayim from 20 years old and upward shall see the land which I swore to Abraham, to Yitzchak, and to Jacob, because they have not fully followed me, except Caleb, the son of Jephunneh, the Kenizzite, and Yehoshua, the son of Nun, for they have fully followed Yahweh. And Yahweh's anger was kindled against Israel, and he made them wander in the wilderness 40 years, until all the generation that had done evil in the sight of Yahweh was consumed. And behold, you are risen up in your Ahvoth, instead a brood of transgressors, to ignite the fierce anger of Yahweh toward Israel again. For if you turn away from after him, he will yet again leave them in the wilderness, and you shall destroy all this people. And they came near to him and said, We will build sheepfolds here for our cattle, and cities for our little ones, but we ourselves will go ready armed before the children of Israel until we have brought them to their place. And our little ones shall dwell in the fenced cities because of the inhabitants of the land. We will not return to our houses until the children of Israel have inherited every man his inheritance. For we will not inherit with them on the other side, Jordan, or forward, because our inheritance is fallen to us on this side, Jordan, eastward. And Musa said to them, If you will do this thing, if you will go armed before Yahweh to war, and will go all of you armed over Jordan before Yahweh, until he has driven out his enemies from before him, and the land be subdued before Yahweh, then afterward you shall return and be guiltless before Yahweh and before Israel, and this land shall be a possession before Yahweh. But if you will not do so, behold, you have transgressed against Yahweh, and be sure your transgression will find you out. Build your cities for your little ones, and folds for your sheep, and do that which has proceeded out of your mouth. And the children of Gad and the children of Reuben spoke to Musa, saying, Your servants will do as my master commands. Our little ones, our wives, our flocks, and all our cattle shall be there in the cities of Gilead. But your servants will pass over, every man armed for war, before Yahweh to battle, as my master says. So concerning them, Musa commanded Eleazar the Kohen, and Yehoshua the son of Nun, and the chief Ahvoth of the tribes of the children of Israel. And Musa said to them, If the children of Gad and the children of Reuben will pass with you over Jordan, every man armed to battle, before Yahweh, and the land shall be subdued before you, then you shall give them the land of Gilead for a possession. But if they will not pass over with you armed, they shall have possessions among you in the land of Canaan. And the children of Gad and the children of Reuben answered, saying, As Yahweh has said to your servants, so will we do. We will pass over armed before Yahweh into the land of Canaan, that the possession of our inheritance on this side Jordan may be ours. And Musa gave to them, even to the children of Gad and the children of Reuben, and to half the tribe of Manasseh, the son of Joseph, the kingdom of Sihon, sovereign of the Amorri, and the kingdom of Og, sovereign of Bashan, the land with the cities there in the coast, even the cities of the country round about. And the children of Gad built Dibon, and Ataroth, and Aror, and Ataroth, Shophan, and Yazer, and Yogveah, and Beth-nimrah, and Beth-haran, fenced cities and folds for sheep. And the children of Reuben built Heshbon, and Elah, and Kiriathim, and Nebo, and Baal-peor, their names being changed, and Shibmah, and gave other names to the cities which they built. And the children of Machir, the son of Manasseh, went to Gilead, and took it, and dispossessed the Amoree which was in it. And Musa gave Gilead to Machir, the son of Manasseh, and he dwelt therein. And Yair, the son of Manasseh, went, and took the small towns there, and called them Chavuth Yair. And Noah went and took Canath, and the villages there, and called it Nova, after his own name. Chapter 33. These are the journeys of the children of Israel, which went forth out of the land of Mitzrayim, with their armies under the hand of Musa and Aaron. And Musa wrote their goings, and according to their journeys, by the commandment of Yahweh. And these are their journeys according to their goings out. And they departed from Ramesses in the first month. On the 15th day of the first month, on the day after the Passover, the children of Israel went out with a high hand in the sight of all the Mitzrayim. For the Mitzrayim buried all their Behor, which Yahweh had smitten among them. Upon their powers also Yahweh executed judgments. And the children of Israel removed from Ramesses, and pitched in Succoth. And they departed from Succoth, and pitched in Etham, which is in the edge of the wilderness. And they removed from Etham, and turned again to Pi-hahiroth, which is before Baal-zephon. And they pitched before Migdol. And they departed from before Pi-hahiroth, and passed through the midst of the sea into the wilderness, and went there 3 days' journey in the wilderness of Etham, and pitched in Marah. And they removed from Marah, and came to Elim. And in Elim were 12 fountains of Maim, and 70 palm trees, and they pitched there. And they removed from Elim, and encamped by the Sea of Reeds. And they removed from the Sea of Reeds, and encamped in the wilderness of Sin. And they took their journey out of the wilderness of Sin, and encamped in Dophcha. And they departed from Dophcha, and encamped in Alush. And they removed from Alush, and encamped at Raphidim, where was no Maim for the people to drink. And they departed from Raphidim, and pitched in the wilderness of Sinea. And they removed from the wilderness of Sinea, and pitched at Kirwoth Hatava. And they departed from Kirwoth Hatava, and encamped at Chazeroth. And they departed from Chazeroth, and pitched in Rithma. And they departed from Rithma, and pitched at Rimmon Perez. And they departed from Rimmon Perez, and pitched in Livna. And they removed from Livna, and pitched at Rissa. And they journeyed from Rissa, and pitched in Kehilatha. And they went from Kehilatha, and pitched in Mount Saphir. And they removed from Mount Saphir, and encamped in Haradah. And they removed from Haradah, and pitched in Machalot. And they removed from Machalot, and encamped at Tahath. And they departed from Tahath, and pitched at Tara. And they removed from Tara, and pitched in Mithcha. And they went from Mithcha, and pitched in Heshmona. And they departed from Heshmona, and encamped at Moseroth. And they departed from Moseroth, and pitched in Benayakan. And they removed from Benayakan, and encamped at Hor Haggidgad. And they went from Hor Haggidgad, and pitched in Yothpatah. And they removed from Yothpatah, and encamped at Ebrona. And they departed from Ebrona, and encamped at Ezion-Geber. And they removed from Ezion-Geber, and pitched in the wilderness of Zin, which is Kadesh. And they removed from Kadesh, and pitched in Mount Hor, in the edge of the land of Edom. And Aaron the Kohen went up into Mount Hor at the commandment of Yahweh, and died there, in the 14th year after the children of Israel were come out of the land of Mitzrayim, in the first day of the 5th month. And Aaron was 123 years old when he died in Mount Hor. And Sovereign Arad the Canaanite, which dwelt in the south in the land of Canaan, heard of the coming of the children of Israel. And they departed from Mount Hor, and pitched in Zalmanah. And they departed from Zalmanah, and pitched in Punon. And they departed from Punon, and pitched in Avoth. And they departed from Avoth, and pitched in Le-Habrim, in the border of Moab. And they departed from Lim, and pitched in Divon-Gad. And they removed from Divon-Gad, and encamped in Almon-Diblathaim. And they removed from Almon-Diblathaim, and pitched in the mountains of Avarim, before Nebo. And they departed from the mountains of Avirim, and pitched in the plains of Moab by Yarden near Jericho. And they pitched by Yarden from Beth Yeshimoth even to Abel Shittim in the plains of Moab. And Yahweh spoke to Musa in the plains of Moab by Yarden near Jericho, saying, Speak to the children of Israel and say to them, When you have passed over Yarden into the land of Canaan, then you shall drive out all the inhabitants of the land from before you, and destroy all their engraved stones, and destroy all their molten images, and demolish all their high places. And you shall dispossess the inhabitants of the land, and dwell therein, for I have given you the land to possess it. You shall divide the land by lot, for an inheritance among your mishpachot, and to the more you shall give the more inheritance, and to the fewer you shall give the less inheritance. Each man's inheritance shall be in the place where his lot falls, according to the tribes of your Avoth you shall inherit. But if you will not drive out the inhabitants of the land from before you, then it shall come to pass that those which you let remain of them shall be pricks in your eyes and thorns in your sides, and shall trouble you in the land wherein you dwelt. Moreover, it shall come to pass that I shall do to you as I thought to do to them. Chapter 34. And Yahweh spoke to Musa, saying, Command the children of Israel, and say to them, When you come into the land of Canaan, this is a land that shall fall to you for an inheritance, even the land of Canaan, with the coast there. Then your south quarter shall be from the wilderness of Zin, along by the coast of Edom, and your south border shall be the utmost coast of the salt sea eastward. And your border shall turn from the south to the ascent of Akrabim, and pass on to Zin, and the going forth there shall be from the south to Kadesh Barnea, and shall go on to Hazar Adar, and pass on to Azmon. And the border shall fetch a compass from Azmon to the river of Mitzrayim, and the goings out of it shall be at the sea. And as for the western border, you shall even have the great sea for a border. This shall be your west border. And this shall be your north border, and this shall be your north border. From the great sea you shall point out for you Mount Hor. From Mount Hor you shall point out your border to the entrance of Hamath, and the goings forth of the border shall be to Zidad. And the border shall go on to Ziphron, and the goings out of it shall be at Hazar Enan. This shall be your north border. And you shall point out your east border from Hazar Enan to Shepham, and the coast shall go down from Shepham to Rivlah on the east side of Ain, and the border shall descend, and shall reach to the side of the sea of Kinnereth eastward. And the border shall go down to Yarden, and the goings out of it shall be at the salt sea. This shall be your land, with the coast there round about. And Musa commanded the children of Israel, saying, This is a land which you shall inherit by lot, which Yahweh commanded to give to the 9 tribes and to the half tribe. For the tribe of the children of Reuben, according to the Baith of their Ahvoth, and the tribe of the children of Gad, according to the Baith of their Ahvoth, have received their inheritance, and half the tribe of Manasseh have received their inheritance. The 2 tribes and the half tribe have received their inheritance on this side Yarden, near Jericho eastward, toward the sun rising. And Yahweh spoke to Musa, saying, These are the names of the men which shall divide the land to you, Eleazar the Kohen, and Yehoshua the son of Nun. You shall take 1 prince of every tribe to divide the land by inheritance. And the names of the men are these: of the tribe of Yehudah, Caleb the son of Yephaniah, and of the tribe of the children of Shimon, Shemuel the son of Ammihud; of the tribe of Benjamin, Elidad the son of Chislon; and the prince of the tribe of the children of Dan, Buki the son of Yogli; the prince of the children of Joseph, for the tribe of the children of Manasseh, Haniel the son of Ephod; and the prince of the tribe of the children of Ephraim, Kemuel the son of Shipton; and the prince of the tribe of the children of Zebulun, Elizaphan the son of Parnach; and the prince of the tribe of the children of Issachar, Paltiel the son of Azan; and the prince Of the tribe of the children of Asher, Ahihud the son of Shelomi. And the prince of the tribe of the children of Naphtali, Pediael the son of Ammihud. These are they whom Yahweh commanded to divide the inheritance to the children of Israel in the land of Canaan. Chapter 35. And Yahweh spoke to Musa in the plains of Moab by Yarden, near Jericho, saying, Command the children of Israel that they give to the Levim of the inheritance of their possession cities to dwell in, and you shall give also to the Levim suburbs for the cities round about them, and the cities shall they have to dwell in, and the suburbs of them shall be for their cattle, and for their goods, and for all their beasts. And the suburbs of the cities which you shall give to the Levim shall reach from the wall of the city outward 1,000 cubits round about. You shall measure from outside the city on the east side 2,000 cubits, and on the south side 2,000 cubits, and on the west side 2,000 cubits, and on the north side 2,000 cubits. And the city shall be in the midst. This shall be to them the suburbs of the cities. And among the cities which you shall give to the Levim, there shall be 6 cities for refuge, which you shall appoint for the person who has killed unintentionally, that they may flee there, and to them you shall add 42 cities. So all the cities which you shall give to the Levim shall be 48 cities. Them shall you give with their suburbs. And the cities which you shall give shall be of the possession of the children of Israel. From them that have many you shall give many, but from them that have few you shall give few. Everyone shall give of his cities to the Levim according to his inheritance which he inherited. And Yahweh spoke to Musa, saying, Speak to the children of Israel, and say to them, When ye become over Yarden into the land of Canaan, then ye shall appoint yourselves cities to be cities of refuge for you, that the person who kills unintentionally may flee there, who has killed someone accidentally. And they shall be to you cities for refuge from the avenger, that the manslayer die not, until he stand before the congregation in judgment. And of these cities which you shall give 6 cities shall ye have for refuge. Ye shall give 3 cities on this side of Yarden, and 3 cities shall ye give in the land of Canaan, which shall be cities of refuge. These 6 cities shall be a refuge both for the children of Israel, and for the foreigner, and for the sojourner among them, that everyone that kills any person unawares may flee there. And if he has smitten him with an instrument of iron, so that he dies, he is a murderer. The murderer will surely be put to death. And if he has smitten him with throwing a stone, with which he may die, and he dies, he is a murderer. The murderer shall surely be put to death. Or if he smites him with a hand weapon of wood, wherewith he may die, and he dies, he is a murderer. The murderer shall surely be put to death. The revenger of blood himself shall slay the murderer. When he meets him, he shall slay him. But if he thrust him because of hatred, or waited to kill him by ambush that he die, or in enmity smite him with his hand that he dies, he that smote him shall surely be put to death, for he is a murderer. The revenger of blood shall slay the murderer when he meets him. But if he thrusts him suddenly without enmity, or throws an object at him without lying in wait, or with any stone wherewith a man may die, seeing him not, and cast it upon him that he die, and was not his enemy, neither sought his harm, then the congregation shall judge between the slayer and the revenger of blood according to these judgments. And the congregation shall rescue the slayer out of the hand of the revenger of blood, and the congregation shall restore him to the city of his refuge, where he was fled, and he shall abide in it to the death of the Kohen Hagadol, high priest, which was anointed with the set-apart oil. But if the slayer shall at any time come outside the border of the city of his refuge, where he was fled, and the revenger of blood finds him outside the border of the city of his refuge, and the revenger of blood kill the slayer, he shall not be guilty of blood, because he should have remained in the city of his refuge until the death of the Kohen Hagadol. But after the death of the Kohen Hagadol, the slayer shall return into the land of his possession. So these things shall be for a statute of judgment to you throughout your generations in all your dwellings. Whoever kills any person the murderer shall be put to death by the mouth of witnesses. But one witness shall not testify against any person to cause him to die. Moreover, you shall take no satisfaction for the life of a murderer which is guilty of death, but he shall be surely put to death. And you shall take no satisfaction for him that is fled to the city of his refuge, that he should come again to dwell in the land until the death of the Kohen Hagadol. So you shall not pollute the land wherein you are, for blood it defiles the land, and the land cannot be cleansed of the blood that is shed therein, but by the blood of him that shed it. Defile not therefore the land which you shall inhabit, wherein I dwell, for I Yahweh dwell among the children of Israel. Chapter 36. And the chief avot of the Mishpachot of the children of Gilead, the son of Machir, the son of Manasseh, of the Mishpachot of the sons of Joseph, came near, and spoke before Musa, and before the princes, the chief avot of the children of Israel. And they said, Yahweh commanded my master to give the land for an inheritance by lot to the children of Israel, and my master was commanded by Yahweh to give the inheritance of Zelophehad, our brothers, to his daughters. And if they be married to any of the sons of the other tribes of the children of Israel, then shall their inheritance be taken from the inheritance of our avot, and shall be put to the inheritance of the tribe whereunto they are received. So shall it be taken from the lot of our inheritance. And when the Yahuwel of the children of Israel shall be, that is a jubilee, and then shall the inheritance be put to the inheritance of the tribe whereunto they are received, so shall the inheritance be taken away from the inheritance of the tribe of our avot. And Musa commanded the children of Israel according to the word of Yahweh, saying, The tribe of the sons of Joseph has said well. This is the thing which Yahweh will command concerning the daughters of Zelophehad, saying, Let them marry to whom they think best. Only to the Mishpachah of the tribe of their father shall they marry. So shall not the inheritance of the children of Israel remove from tribe to tribe, for every one of the children of Israel shall keep himself to the inheritance of the tribe of his avot, and every daughter that possessed an inheritance in any tribe of the children of Israel shall be wife to one of the Mishpachah of the tribe of her father, that the children of Israel may enjoy every man the inheritance of his avot. Neither shall the inheritance remove from one tribe to another tribe, but every one of the tribes of the children of Israel shall keep himself to his own inheritance. Even as Yahweh commanded Musa, so did the daughters of Zelophehad. For Machlah, Tirzah, and Hoglah, and Milcah, and Noach, the daughters of Zelophehad, were married to their father's brothers' sons. And they were married into the Mishpachat of the sons of Manasseh, the son of Joseph, and their inheritance remained in the tribe of the Mishpachah of their father. These are the commandments and the judgments which Yahweh commanded by the hand of Musa to the children of Israel in the plains of Moab by Yarden near Jericho. Please note that in the event that there is an inheritance issue, as it is in this particular case, where the daughters of Zelophehad had nobody else, no brothers, to pass inheritance to, so therefore they were commanded in such instance that they be married into their own tribe of blood, so the inheritance doesn't go to another tribe and the name of the tribe disappear. Hence why, in this particular instance and all future instances, when a woman is a sole inheritor and she does not have any other brothers, she is to remain within her own tribe. So a woman from the tribe of Yehudah is to remain in the tribe of Yehudah, a woman from the tribe of Dan to be the tribe of Dan, etc. Notice also that this reference is only to a woman who owns land, and this is not to be applied in the exile, where there is no land involved. End note.